Bum, ba, la, ba, la, ba. Bam, 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 bam. Ba, la, ba, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum, ba, la, ba, ba, bum. Is that even the right thing? Nope. Nope. Oh, you know what I could have done? Copy, copy, copy. What up, Cody? How are you? 1 second. Let me get this set up. 1 second. Bam, 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 bam. Still nothing. Still janky. What's good? Oh, I just broke it. La. Did it work? What up, William? I'm doing good. I'm doing good, Cody. Doing good, my friend. How you doing, William? Hey, Rich. Oh, hey, boogers. Boogers. All right, where are we at? What up, B2B? Looky, looky. I want a cookie. All right, let me see if I can make this happen here. My freaking chat server's busted. I'm restarting it now. Hold on 1 second. So, reload. So I can pop up the jamolators. Anything? Anything? Nope. Dang it. Irritate. All right. Let's see. Looky, looky. Oh, cookie. Crazy. Okay. Reinstall server. Open. Enable. Start. Find. Enable. Restart. Okay. Let's see if this does it. Yeah, that did it. All right, cool. All right. Okay. That worked. How's everybody doing? Okay, what's going on in the world? What's going on in the world? Hey, I got your Star Wars right here, buddy. Hacking into the mainframe. The Matrix. Okay, let's see. Let's see. It's a facade. Unthinkable 5 years ago. Don't trust. The scariest chart engineering. Ben Crump. Oh, jeez, guys are crazy. Unleashes FBI, cosmetic surgery, Elliot Page. Well, yeah, what a coinky dink. Chemical maintenance inside my family's slum house. All right. I had a long day. Oh, let's check out this freaking cat. Check out this cat with a look at this. I'm gonna have a word with my cat. Look at that freaking. Look at that. Look at that. I like the dinosaur look. Yes. Because he's the channel investigator, Cody. He's here to help everybody get some shout outs. Dorks. When I was a kid, it was combat. That's horrible. What is that? That's ugly. That's what my cat looks like. Yeah, I'm definitely not doing that to my cat. No problem. No problem. No problem, Cody. That's cute. That's horrid. That's horrid. Oh, why do people do this stuff? That's awesome. It's a cat. They're cats. I don't think that was a dog. Yeah, I think these are all cats. I guess there's a cat shaving trend. I just saw the thumbnail where one of the cats had was shaved like a shaved like a dinosaur, and I thought it was cool. I clicked on it, and now it's got all this freaking insanity. Yeah, my cat would not be down for that. All those people would. Here, here's the second one. That one right there. That's the one. That's the one I saw. That's the one on the thumbnail. I thought that was pretty cool. It's called the Philippine snow cone. No, it probably is. I had my cast taken off my hand today so I could use it like normal. Good, Cody. What up? Did you see the thumbnail I made? I did not see it yet, Elliot. Yeah, mine not. Nah, absolutely not. And never. At like freaking shredding. Freaking 98. What's up, nerds? What's up, dial up? Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, it's not what I wanted. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, my bad. All right, sorry about that. All right. There's Plus Ultra. Yeah, my cat's never. Yeah, my no. It takes like 3 people just to give my cat a bath. I gotta acquire help. The mantis shrimp. All right, what was I looking for? No way. Oh, that's gonna piss off a lot of people. Looks like there's Trump signed $100 bills. Fun fact: Lindsey Graham was #1 Silver Fox Power Bottom. Hotter grinder. That's Jesus Chrysler. I learned that democratic socialism is fiction. It never worked. It never can work. The closest we have is Nazi Germany, North Korea. Hilarious. Well, so I found out today what that was all about. They're absolutely not pushing for that. It's all a scam. It's all a scam. It's market manipulation. So you have a bunch of people that have been paid to promote this democratic socialist thing, so that you have a big swath of the area that they're promoting in that will be pulling out their investments because the stock market's doing so well. So people are like, well, if we go socialist, they'll take all of my money. So you got a bunch of people pulling out their money out of the like the S&P 500 and whatnot because they don't want it to go to the socialists. And then the rich people that are paying to publicize this democratic socialist thing, they'll buy when it's artificially low. And then after it doesn't happen and the regular people start putting their money back in, it'll also give it'll have that recorrection, which will mark it up. So it's a big, huge market manipulation. Yeah, it's a scam. Trash like crazy. What up, Stevie? Yes. It was back in my mailbox. I sent it back out today. I had to put it in a different envelope. I did do it backwards. Kind of embarrassing. I had 8,000 cats and never had one of those jerks give a bath. Yeah. Sometimes my cats get into fights, or my cat gets into fights, or he's an attack cat, so he gets messy. Yeah, so that's freaking insane about the Democratic Socialists. Like, if you did you see that Mondami gave himself almost a 19% raise, and he's moving people in to make money out of this whole democratic socialist thing while under a capitalist system. It's obviously there's too many people that are now getting involved with the stock market. So by pumping this in, and I think a lot of it are people outside of America. Like you have like people in China and whatnot that want to be able to get big swaths of artificially lowered um, stocks so they can just pay a bunch of stupid college kids that have nothing under their belt, nothing. They have no history of doing anything good, that now want to recreate America under a socialist ideal and buying their way in to these elections, cause a scare that will cause a false withdrawal, an anxiety withdrawal. The worst democratic socialism is one of the funniest oxymorons I've ever heard. Yeah, I finally give cats a bath, they have fleas. Yeah, it's a good idea too. Mondami, no, absolutely, dude, no, absolutely not. That I'm telling you, it's a money grab. It's a money grab. You know why today is a lovely day? Why is that? Why is today a lovely day? Reporters, video will boil your blood. I met the president. China's damn disaster. Uh-oh. Rocket catch. How the world's hardest food is made. No. It's market manipulation. It's market manipulation. It's all wackadoodle. It's my birthday, and I'm getting an e-bike. An e-bike. Get you one, brother. Just be safe. Mount of Olives. Okay, Temptations, drivers. It's a facade. Exploring Baltimore's raw poverty. Free bus is one of the good policy he has. In my area, property tax fund, the Kings and Metro, 80% subsidized. Why are people pretending like giving $2.50 for $11 rides paying the bus? I was actually, just before I went live, I heard something about that, and they said that the New York Metro organization was $1 billion in deficit, and they raised the cost to ride the bus or trains or whatever. So the cost of riding it went up. Is that incorrect? So, or is it only free for some people, or is it only a couple of lines or something? Yeah, look, it sounds like he did the opposite. It said like what from what I was listening to, it said he said that, and then the prices went up. I don't know. Happy birthday. The socialist voter gaslighting cycle to the young for promising free shit, centralized government when they don't say they'll be greedy capitalists defeated this BS years ago. Yes, yeah, right. It's the thing is they're young. They're young. So and if you look at how many people actually voted like in New York, it was only like a fraction of the registered Democrats or the Democrat voter, like only so a bunch of young kids voted these kids into office. I mean, we'll see what happens when they actually run. Like, I don't know if that's going to be happening in the midterms or whatnot. I have a Surin B and a Motion RE scooter that goes 60. Super fun. Need some cake for me. Just made 100%. Just make it 100% free instead of 80% free. You can have stricter rules. Homeowners and cars occasionally use what I pay for, although without paying again. Yeah, that's what it needs to be. And if you see, do you see what's going on in Mexico? Mexico, in Honduras, and that they're kicking immigrants out because they were before when the border was open. They were making billions of dollars, and the cartels were making billions of dollars. Just had an industry of helping people get into America for 10 years, and really in the previous administration, they made a lot of money. But now that the border's essentially closed, they're kicking them all out. So now the South America is almost completely right wing now. And they're kicking out the immigrants that fled to Mexico to get to America, because now they can't get to America. Now they're kicking people out. It's a voter cycle. They trap people in to see it through to retain power. 100 degrees in Michigan. Come on, I gotta pee real quick. Hold on, I'll be right back. Gaslighting is, yeah, right. And the thing is, like, they tell the young not to listen to the old. When the old are old enough to have experienced these cycles before, but the young have no idea, and they think this is the newest, greatest thing, and it's not. It's bullcrap. Yeah. All right, let's see. It's getting hot in here. So, Chairman Mao did the same thing to point children to turn on his own parents. Yeah, right. And you have these countries that realize how to. I mean, like China is pseudo capitalist communist. Like, so they've got billionaires. How do they have billionaires in a communist society? How do they have business part? Because they're working with capitalist countries, and they need to give people the reason to develop good business. So they had to swing semi-capitalist because you didn't have people that were willing to do their best for nothing, and they would just try to defect. The free bus stake enables people to participate in society. The only thing left I'm thinking for. I don't think the people just share it anyway. Drive the plane or something. Hey, listen, I think that's a good idea too. What's up, Papa? I think it's a good idea too, and I think it would be easy, but you've got to ensure the safety of the riders. And that's what I think a huge problem is. It's like the safety aspect of it. But I agree, absolutely. You should absolutely. And I think with the up and coming like auto driving stuff, that would be a pretty easy thing to do. Like when self-driving buses and the trains are pretty much self-driving. It's not like they have a steering wheel. China shouldn't survive a true communist. No, couldn't. Absolutely not. What up, Thadiel? Every company in China, the government law is only half the companies. Right, but that's not true communism. Right, so the creator of the company can still get ultra wealthy, but the government gets a hunk of that. Because if you just have a communist society and the people that are super talented don't want to participate in socialism, then you're just having all that brain loss, all that intellect loss. You have the people that think that they know it all about politics, but politics isn't what runs a country, and politics isn't what drives an economy. Yeah, so it's just wackadoodle. What up, Lord Alcatraz? Even Putin admitted collectivism was the wrong path to show. Yeah, it destroyed the Soviet Union. Yeah, more strict rules should go in hand with free metro. Yeah. China's completely communist. If you pay the right people, right? If you move your capital properly, and that's what they're trying to do. We are teaching like if you listen to those the socialist democratic socialist like Zoom calls, they're nuts. They're crazy. They're absolutely crazy. They want power so bad, but they never answer how do they know if they can trust the people that come after them? So if you got the United States to become socialist, what happens after you die? What if the person that takes your place, or the people that take your place, or if a bunch of people that are actually capitalists lie and get themselves into positions of power and then overthrow your government because you have too many people? I mean, it's not hard to get I mean, just like they did. They're trying to destroy the Democratic Party from the inside out. So it's like, you don't think that same thing would happen to you, and because people are going to want to get subversive. Yep. A little bit of this and that. Good. Like I said, China's more communist paper than citizens know. Well, still can speak out about the government, but more communist paper. Right. Yeah. Andy, covered the Caesarians. We have a trans death cult in America. Yeah, I saw his post go through, but I my feed, but I didn't read into it completely. Socialism is 100% success, right? But they think socialism's going to work now because there's enough money. So their excuse is, well, that was before late stage capitalism, whenever it was tried before, so there wasn't enough money. But now we'll take all of Bill Gates' money. Well, they never mentioned Bill Gates or any of the billionaires that are lefties. They say we'll take Elon Musk's money and everything out of the companies, and then they'll be able to use that. But where are you going to spend your money? And the problem is you don't have the industry. We're not self-sustaining as a nation. So you're going to have to buy things from other countries who will raise their prices to take advantage of you because you're dumb and you can't do tariffing or anything. So now they're going to be like, oh, you need cars that aren't being built in America anymore? Then you have to buy cars. But now they're $100,000 for a freaking motorcycle. We have to bring the system down. Whoever knows foundations, we have no foundations. They do not enforce almost all their communist laws they have. Right. Socialism has a 100% success rate when it mooches with the capitalist system. Right. It's a money grab. It's a bunch of people that are resentful that people have more money and power than they do. So they're saying, hey, let us have it. I got a degree that I can't pay for, so let me rule the world. Private equity also needs to stop owning everything. I agree. Yeah. There needs to be guardrails. Power. It's absolutely what it is. Like you have people that aren't successful in their own rights. So they've never done anything before, but they think they'll be able to run a country when they don't even know if like aliens exist or anything else at the top of the food chain, and what about armies? You think you're going to have a kick-ass army that's going to want to die for you? Yeah, that's not going to work. Communism is evil, and especially when the things that would be protecting them, like ICE and the Army and the Navy and the Marines, like a lot of these people are freaking are capitalists and are absolutely, they're not going to be like, you're a Marine, you're now going to get the same amount of money as a baker. That's not going to work. People are not going to want to die for you, die for your country. Yeah, you have to have people that are willing to make that bet. There's not enough people that believe in it for it to work. I wish they were smart enough to realize we are U.S. billionaires to be ruled by foreign billionaires. Right. I wish they were smart enough to realize that it's not the U.S. billionaires that are the problem. It's the oil billionaires and the freaking Chinese billionaires that are just pulling their strings. Yeah, it's wackadoodle. If you fill the right people's pockets in China, you're free to do whatever you want as far as capitalism goes. Treat Jason would lead to morals again. Business. But yeah, that would be nice. Morals would be nice. Illuminati is where it's after you. Illuminati is after you now. Wait a second. I'm the Illuminati. Well, we need more CEOs like the Arizona tea guy. Right. That was a great guy. Right. Like I said, the problem isn't capitalism. The problem's evil. Problem with it is the 19th century. People have free will, just like the 19th century. They crack down on free will with violence. That's communist. All right, Pablo Bear. So I have a question. What do you think is more important in a person, caste or their religion? I mean, their religion is far more important than their caste. And I don't live in I live in a fluid caste system. So you can change castes in America. Like, poor don't typically stay poor. There's always poor people, but over the course of like 10 years, it's not the same people. Poor people go to middle class or upper middle class, and rich people lose their money from gambling debts or freaking bad business deals. So like that goes around. That's like one of the biggest problems about talking about poverty in America. It's not typically the same people. It's not people who are born in poverty and die in poverty. There might be a few percent of that happens, but most people that are poor figure it out once they stop fighting the system and they learn the rules. I finally get back home from Walmart after getting my groceries. There you go, brother TW. In my opinion, nothing is greater than humanity, and a person's important than any caste or religion. In my opinion, nothing is greater than humanity. A person is more important than any caste or religion. Person is, it's good versus evil. The problem is with people that have either religions that explore evil or they're anti-religious, where they think that morality changes with the group. That can be huge. So, you got to be good people. Communists have written countless works on free will, and they can't comprehend it because they're freaking evil. The Sid Dirty Cole What do you mean cast? All right, calm down. Calm down. Okay, let's see. Full blown panic mode. And like now, like things are getting better. Yeah, India runs off of caste. I was born in India, but I live in the United States. In India, people are often given importance to caste and religion, but in America, it's not like that. No. Yeah, right. And I think that's why a lot of Indians like to get to America, because in America, the way it's set up now, like with the Democrats want to change it so everybody's on one caste. It's just the government and then everybody else. But the way it is now, the current capitalist system it is now, you can work your way through. We don't call them castes, but it's we call them class. So you have lower class, middle class, upper middle class, upper class, and elite, and you can if you learn the system, if you learn how investing works, and you stay away from vices and learn to do long-term resolutions, or you want to plan, you like, don't say, oh, I want to get laid today and spend a bunch of money on trying to find girls and doing things for yourself to try to find somebody to have sex with tonight. Say, hey, I want to find somebody I can have sex with and be married to in 10 years. And then instead of spending a bunch of money on a bunch of girls and doing a bunch of stupid shit and buying a bunch of cars and clothes and perfumes and colognes and stuff that you don't need and buying gifts for people that you're going to end up hating and whatnot, you could have taken all that money, invested it, and then in 10 years, that could have been a huge amount of money. And then you would have enough money to support a family and then get yourself a wife and then get tax benefits from having a wife. You know, but people think that dating and just like wackadoo sex is worth it when it's just a scam to get people to blow all their money and not be able to compete with people in the upper class. So if you believe all the crap, if you follow your urges, and you have a lot of vices, and particularly sex, absolutely. Because prostitution's biggest now than it's ever been. You can get digital prostitution and AI digital prostitution and then prostitution right outside your house and freaking, delivery prostitution. And a lot of people, and then pornography. A lot of people spend a lot of money on that stuff. And then they bitch about the economy when they could take these tens of thousands of dollars a year that they spend on dating and on people that they don't know and apps and subscriptions and stuff, and that could be invested, and they could make a lot of money in the future. Like I said, if invest over 10 years, you'll have a lot of money to do whatever you want with. But people are like, no, I need it now. I'm lonely now. Well, you got to work through that. Mr. Palad, communists belong in your HOA dumpster. Throw them in there, Mr. Palad. I got a wagon. Everybody has an equal opportunity here. Yep. Yeah, right. And then you have people that typically have done something bad, like went to college and took something that's not going to help make them any money and go into debt. And then they're like, well, maybe if we just burn down the Constitution, we'll be able to, our student loan will go away. And it's like, you want to destroy everybody else's lives because you destroyed your life. But their lives haven't even begun yet. They just don't understand it. They're just being squashed by this student loan debt. No. There's plenty of systems in place to get yourself where you want to be. There's a scientific paper and study by the Polish about the nature of evil adjusted for political purpose between communism control and Nazi control. It's very revealing. $120 a night is $120 a night. Call it a date if you want to go and play about the black hole finances. It absolutely is. Listen, if you realize how much money the cartel makes off of Americans, just Americans, on prostitution, and a lot of the girls on OnlyFans are sold. They're trafficked. And that's what they do. They get a room and a camera and a cell phone, and then whatever money that comes in through that. And we won't get into the freaking laundering part of it, but a lot of that stuff is. And then the street prostitutes and the drugs and the freaking, they make so much money off of our laws being the way they are and our government being as wackadoodle as it is. They get freaking wealthy and we get poor. Aaron, many people declare college major by the third year, figure out it's not what they want to do. Yeah, I agree. Equal opportunity for future global people who will lead. The problem is people are different. People are different, and the global outlook is that we're all basically the same. And if we were all ruled properly, then everything would be fine. And then there could just be massive overarching companies that take care of our needs. And it's not true. It's not true. Some people hate other people. Some people absolutely despise other people. And it's been entrained into them. So now they're like, okay, now you all have to work together. Love. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. What up, who's a fail, brother? Fat bong. Switching up my diet a little bit, made some turkey spaghetti and crab on the side. I love crab. Man, I'm a Maryland boy. I'm in Georgia now, but I grew up in Maryland. Freaking Chesapeake Bay blue crabs. Sorry. All right. Okay. Dang it. I should have turned the fan on. I'm starting to get excited, sweating myself up here. All right, hold on a second. All right. Here we go. Boom. All right. I should have set up a remote control. Wow, we back. Lobster is better. You know, I disagree. I really like lobster, but I disagree. Blue crab, like claw and back fin, is so much more buttery, and lobster is tougher. Lobster's tougher. Like if you had all your teeth knocked out, you could eat blue crab, no problem. Enjoy it, love it. But like, lobster's good, but it's not better than blue crab. That's in my opinion. I mean, you can get lobster, I'll get crab. It'll be great. Man, I love crab. Won't do oysters or mussels or scallops. Can't say with the smell. But lobster's better. It's also more expensive. Lobster's more rubbery. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's more rubbery. Lobster all day. My mom's from, man. Okay. So right. Well, that makes sense then. That makes sense because you grew up on that. I grew up on blue crab, and like I remember my mom would buy like lump or back fin, like picked. You know, it's like in a plastic container. You know, so you would get it pre-picked. And I used to go into the fridge and sneak out like hunks of it. And by the time she got there to make like the crab cakes, the thing was half full. I'd get in trouble all the time. At this point, if you can't see the dangers of communism, 21st century, you have to have your head sheltered up your ass. And I think it's fully, it's emotions driven. It's emotions driven by outside forces outside of the country, billionaires and trillionaires, like oil trillionaires, that outside of the country that want access to the money in America. And so they're like, hey, we'll tell all these stupid kids that communism's the way and we'll help fund them to get it. And then if it works, then we'll just take everybody's money. And then they'll be like, okay, then their army will come in and slaughter everybody. They'll just leave with the money or just start ruling from their own. In my opinion, India's prime minister is not well educated, and I don't think he's a good leader. I believe leaders should unite people, not divide them over religion, Indian things. No, I agree. I agree. They do that on purpose. They absolutely do that on purpose. Divide and conquer. Who's a fail? Why are some cities that have homelessness and abound homeless buildings don't invest fixing the problem instead of ignoring it for years? So they steal the money. So California spends $250,000 per year per homeless person. How's that work? So in 2 years, they give they have enough money to give each homeless person $500,000. So where's the money going? And that's the problem. That's why you have a bunch of people looking for all this fraud. And therein lies the issue. They've gotten money. They've spent, I think, $24 billion over the past 10 years on just California's homelessness. So because they have like a oasis for the homeless, you have homeless people from other states going out there too. And then they get food stamp cards and cash assistance cards. Some of them get places to stay, like little places that they can do their drugs. Then the cartels come in, and doing drugs isn't illegal. So now the cartels come in and they make billions of dollars off of these people because they're not the drug dealers aren't getting arrested and the people aren't getting arrested for doing the drugs. So it's just like the cartel's just making it hand over fist, jamming money into their pockets. What is wrong with free enterprise? There's only fangirls need money. Only fangirls need that money. What up, John? Gary agrees. Lamau, my mom worked with some fishing boats out in Alaska. Apparently, her boat's stud. Yeah, deadliest catch. Don't think she was in it. Nice. I would try to save the lobsters. Put them in a bathtub. Put them in the pot. That's pretty cool. Fat bong, brother. John O'Valley. They do that in the West too every day. It is sad, right? Where's all the money going? And this is the thing. You have a lot of our kids that think socialism and communism's way to go when it's not. The way to go is to take all the fraud out, Republican and Democrat, take it all out, track it all down, find out where all the money that's leaving our treasury is going. They can find out if I missed a penny on my taxes, so they can definitely find out if they missed $1 million here or there, if it's being sent out of the country or being sent to other states. It should just be that easy. It should just be that easy. We want to know where the money's going. And then we would know, well, actually, we've been stealing billions and billions of dollars every year. So then after that gets cut off, then we can start actually buttoning up the issues that we have. Yeah, it's not that difficult. There's more money. There's more money than there is problems, and we could definitely fix the problems. In the government, if you don't spend the money, you don't get more money. So that they figure out a way to spend it. If you give them an extra $1 million, they'll hire 3 more of their friends that make $300,000 a year or $30,000 a year, $300,000 a year. Yeah. And then that's that $1 million. Then only $100,000 goes to the health. They give themselves, they start nonprofits and they pay themselves so well that on average, 8% of the money they're given. So if you give them $100 million, only about $8 million of that actually goes to the problem. The rest goes on for cell phones and cars and transportation and employment and websites and banners and freaking whatever, but only about 8% actually ends up going to the problem, and that needs to be changed. That needs to be changed. If people want to be of service to people, being in the government, but that's the trick though. They're not government, they're NGOs, non-governmental. So they can freaking charge themselves as much as they want. As long as your buddy's in the government, they're gonna pay you out. Yes, that much money. Thank you, brother. Thank you, my friend. Just a kid, 1,200 people for the HHS. Jeez. Slowly turning the bike into an adventure bike for delivery service. Gonna slap a big old storage box. There you go, brother. I believe both parties are 2 wings of the same bird, controlled opposition. I would have said the same thing too. But something is odd now. Something is odd, especially with what's going on with the economy now. So the results that came out today, things are doing much better than they were. Our inflation has dropped. Oil prices have dropped, but gas prices haven't dropped to meet that. Affordability has gotten better. The jobs numbers haven't gotten much better, but we do have $19 trillion that were invested in companies that are currently building out their infrastructure. And it seems like that was absolutely the truth. But I think something is changing. I think something is changing. See, the Democrats and the Republicans, if it was controlled opposition, then the DSA wouldn't be a thing. Now you have the Democrat socialists that are going after the Democrats from the inside, and they're loud about it. So I think now that Democrat Republican bird, left wing, right wing, same bird jam, I think they realize that now they have a common enemy. Their common enemy was whatever they made it up before, but now they actually have. This could all be theater, but this is what it seems to be happening. They're going to have to join forces to make sure that this public threat of socialism, communism doesn't come to fruition. We'll see. All for power and votes. One party say they want that money. Viva the Donald No, Trumpo, Viva Deport Expert. Jeez. Yo, Red, get this. Customer wanted a repair done on his dirt bike. I said the parts he needs, the price was $100. I said an extra edge, $150. Parts, bam. Bam. I'm trying to save these dudes money. Bro says the whole engine is bad. Why not argue with the accountant? Yeah, right, right. Right. The UN is an NGO. Yeah, and it seems like that's being pretty much dismantled. Something very interesting is happening. That's without a doubt. Don't think that elderly people are talking to you here. I don't think that only elderly. No. There's a lot of young people in here. Yeah, absolutely, brother. The goal of the UN is subversive democracy. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. And that has become pretty obvious. The amount of money. See, okay, so just as far as shortly ago as the Obama administration, the Democrats were supporting Iran. Okay, plane loads of money, yada 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 yada. Obviously, that didn't go as well as it should have gone. So that had to come to an end. If the Democrats that helped Iran before doesn't want their name soiled with the Iranians, then one of the things you do is get somebody on the Republican side to do the bad to the Iranians. So then at least if they're doing any underhanded dealing, the Iranians still believe that the Democrats are on their side. But they could both, like I said, be. So we'll see. We'll see. What up, brother? Hey, potato friend. What's new today? Besides, he's hot. Hot, brother. They joined forces against the Tea Party. They'll do it again. Yeah, I think it's and whether it's real or theater, we'll see. But they're gonna use the DSA as their we've got to come together. We lost our way. Sorry, Trump. Sorry, Biden. We lost our way. Shake. So it's gonna be obviously it's gonna be Trump and Obama that are gonna have to I mean, because who's the current leader of the Democrats? Yeah, that's what's going to happen. And everybody's going to love Trump, and everybody's going to love Obama, and everybody's going to leave with all their billions of dollars. Careful reading my name. It gets people. Yes, be careful. Yes, sir, you're paying me for fix something you can't. Why you bother with me when you give me a cheap repair and make it more expensive? People are crazy, dude. People are crazy. Spruzel, can you even have a people if there's no common enemy? I think you could. But I don't think the politicians think you can. And especially what the politicians want is a way to make money. And having an enemy or a boogeyman is a way to raise money against that boogeyman. And I mean, listen, politicians are there to get rich. They're not here to help. So, but if they can help while they're getting rich, then all the better. But you can't solve the problem. You can't solve the problem. Like you can't solve racism because then you stop. You can't. Like if you start a company, a nonprofit to stop racism, and then they give you $1 million, you get $1 million in donations to stop racism, and you stop racism, you're like, well, we just made $1 million off of that. Let's go find some more racism to stop instead of okay, let's dismantle and find another thing to fight against. No, somebody else will just start another nonprofit. It keeps it going. Gary. Trump needs EMP. Oliver, I think that's something like that might be on the way. What up, Naruto? I went to the Mexican mall and saw this gold coin. Was wondering, how can you tell if it's real or fake? Yeah, you need to do an acid test. So if you have different strengths of acids. You have what's called a rub stone. You rub the gold onto this little stone. It leaves a little bit of the gold behind. And then you treat it with different acids to see if it dissolves or if it foams or changes colors. It's not gold. If it doesn't do any of that, then typically it's gold. But yeah, you need to do a chemical test. What up, movies? Make the common enemy Satan again. Right. Well, that's typically what it used to be. The devil is the enemy, the common enemy. But so many people got so far away from gods or a god that they went so secular and scientist that was lost. So they had to choose somebody else. And then they ended up coming around and choosing each other. What up, brother? I'm doing good, my friend. The two wings found a common enemy after 9/11. It's called freedom. They sent our freedom to the desert, bombed it, and brought it back. Poppy plants to create the epidemic. They saw you out 2 cents if you don't give a crap on the country, right? Right. 9/11 and COVID. Yeah, right. But that they went 2 different ways. When I felt it, it was very heavy. Like it weighed my fingers down. I mean, so the thing is, a lot of fake gold. People use tungsten, which is heavy like that, and lead, which is heavy like that, and then they put gold leaf or not leaf. The gold. What do you call it? Laminations. What are they called? Gold. Gold covered, gold. My ring is gold plated. They plate it. And then so it'll pass that little test and it'll weigh good. But if you cut it in half, it's got bullcrap metal in the middle. So you got to be careful with stuff like that. Aisle. Yeah. Get aisle. The Federal Reserve is also a bit sketchy. Why is a single family printing our money? Dun, 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 dun. Brother, asking those questions. Electric platings. Yeah, well, and the thing about the Federal Reserve, in a capitalist system, you have to have a Federal Reserve in order to be able to keep the way we do something called fractional reserve banking. And if you understand that, then you understand that things have to be kept a hold of, kept. Banks have to be able to lend from banks. Central banks have to be able to lend to branch banks or whatnot. And then the Federal Reserve sets it up. Because if we didn't, we would have a free market bank, so to speak, where you would have outside countries starting banks in America and then blowing away the competition. Like China could just say, hey, we'll give you loans for 0.1%. And then they would destroy all the other banks and then buy them up. So we need a central linchpin or a kingpin. Yeah. Gold is 7 times heavier than water. Hope that helps. That's interesting. 49 companies laid off. Over 100 companies finally legally warned notices to Warn Tracker. Yeah. So things are definitely going wackadoodle. But we never hear about the rehires. So there's companies like Klarna that laid off a bunch of people, said it was because of AI, and then said, oh, the AI didn't work, and hired them back for lower wages. So there's also hirebacks being done. But it looks like Volkswagen's laying off like 120,000. Iran cannot be allowed to get a nuclear bomb. That's all there is to it. Common enemy or not, Obama's the one that funded it with those pallets of cash. Right. I mentioned that. Right. Who's the next senator to die mysteriously, Republican or Democrat? Probably a Democrat. And if I was to play that game, that who's the Democrat that a lot of people got mad at for saying that that he was sorry to see I can't remember the guy's name, black guy, Democrat. He said, he's like, my heart goes out, this was a really good guy, and then a bunch of people were like, how could you do that? He was the white devil, blah 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 blah. So a lot of people are mad at him now. So it seems like when things feel like they're set up in the public, it seems like that would be the next. Like if you're a script writer, you know how to set things up. The new freedom is now safety. They will commit atrocities the same. They're keeping everybody safe. Yep, absolutely. And why do you think people think it's because of black, white, black racism, like why we have body cams? No, there's body cams out there to show you how violent the world actually is, to make you scared of what's out there, so that you'll ask for protection. Like, look, 88% of the population now agree with ICE. The only people that don't agree with ICE are the kids and the Democrat leadership. Everybody else, it's like, no, you Democrats, Republicans, you fight over your bullshit, but I still want to be safe. It's always trying to sell at safety. Yep. We should go back to gold standard instead of relying on oil back money. I agree. Our financial system is a Ponzi scheme. Every generation is borrowing from the next, paying the debts off the previous generation, form of inflation. That's right. AI is crazy. Answer and service. Yeah. What if 1983 was a frame job? 1967 proves they'll kill us just to frame other nations. Senator Scott. What's his first? I think it was Scott. Let me see. Oh, dang it. Let me see. I could probably find it. I don't know. 10th grade. Phil, have you heard about the presidential address to the nation coming on Thursday about the week's closing? Yes, I've heard about it. Yeah, we're going to be live streaming that. Absolutely. Body cams are the very best thing ever happened to U.S. Yeah, absolutely. Nowadays in India, exam papers are now getting leaked. Many girls become victims of rape. Politicians are always fighting with petrol. Politicians are always fighting, and petrol is being blended with ethanol. In my opinion, there are many serious problems. Yeah, brother. So copy paste. That's a result of having an open global system. The people that have in their culture that rape is kick-ass to do, they have people that have grown past that and say, okay, maybe not. And then they leave that. They say, well, everybody's mad at me now. So then they leave and they say, well, this country's letting us in. Let's just do the same thing here. And then they'll get kicked out and they'll go to another country and do the same thing. There needs to be, but I think they're doing this to make try to make a global police force. But I think that having NATO not having help with Iran is going to destroy NATO, especially now that other Middle Eastern countries are helping with Iran. And NATO ain't done nothing. Like, I think they're gonna be like, you're worthless. You didn't do nothing at all. You haven't helped anybody. You've never stopped a war. Well, recording being part of the First Amendment, that too. No one born in 1950s, 60s, 70s has become president yet. Yeah. Thomas Massey was paid to withdraw. I think probably. What up, John Goldbody? I kept my money at the First National Bank of Uruguay. Converted American dollars to pesos to Ugandan shillings. It's not true. Barack Hussein was born in the 1960s. I thought he was born in 59. He's not 7. Oh, yeah, hold on. He was born in 63. Barack Obama's birthday. Who the dummies that say stuff? Obama was born in the 60s, only president born in 1948. Yeah, he was born in 61. I think Massey lost due to the San War. Obama was never really president. His husband was. I love the internet. Jesus 2.0 is on its way. Yeah, I believe so too, brother. The only way we can have 35-year-old president 2028. Oh, wait, started to fight the globalist agenda. Big Mike. Okay, what did I do? Big Mike. Let me see if I can find that guy's name. Senator of South Carolina. No, not Tim Scott. He's a Republican. Who's the Democrat? I can't remember his name. Who's the healthiest 80-year-old president of the United States? The healthiest? Freaking Trump. I lived through 11 presidents, 12 administrations. Senator Scott. Yeah, that's Tim Scott. Yeah. It's not the guy I was talking about. He's a Republican, right? Yeah, I was talking about a Democrat. They were eating him up because he said he gave his condolences to Lindsey Graham. But if we elect a young president, who will protect the wealth of the dying boomers? Good point. Something bad is going to happen before 2029. Maybe a second civil war or a third war. What I think's going to happen is there's going to be a come to Jesus moment with the Republican and Democrat Party against the DSA. And the whole DSA market manipulation scare, because if people are like, oh, we're going communist, I want to pull my money out of the stock market, causes a dip, the rich people will get it, the Republicans and Democrats will join forces, beat the DSA, and everybody will be happy, and they'll cleanse the Democrat Party of its previous sins. New Jersey's senator. NATO is a defensive force, not a toy for trouble. It doesn't matter. That's not my point. My point is what the narrative is going to be. That doesn't have anything to do with it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They didn't help. That's the narrative. And other countries have to pitch in to help with this war. That's the narrative. And NATO didn't do nothing. So they're all going to say, why are we paying NATO? And then that's going to devolve NATO. It doesn't matter what you think or feel about it. Cory Booker. Yes, that's FBI evidence that the election of 2020 was stolen in Georgia. Yeah, I'm in Georgia. And we've known that for a long time. So I was in the movie industry. Straight Democrat. I live with Democrats and Republicans. They're all Republicans now, but even when it was so obvious what happened, and people that were in the gang that was dealing with the printing, that they talked openly about it, and so it was obvious. It was obvious enough. And then like when people said the next day, because George is pretty much Republican through and through, so having it be so obviously swapped It was just like, so people were like, yeah, this ain't legit. I ain't never voting again. And then that was on the Democrat and Republican side. Yeah, Booker. The boomers ate nitrates and other garbage their whole lives. They need health care. Yes, all that freaking, all them nitrates and all that bacon. They said TSA. Time to go through. Score our own business. Cory Booker, in my opinion, if you want to live a good life in India, you need to become rich, become powerful, political family. Otherwise, life could be very difficult for many people. Yeah, well, that's so. In India, it's a different ball game because a lot of people in the lower castes aren't allowed to like date or marry an upper caste to like even marry into something bigger and better. And so the way to do it is find a way to fund yourself from outside of the country. You got the internet. That would be the way to do it, is try to get American pay, even $7.25 an hour. If you can contact companies in America, be like, hey, is there anything you done remotely? I'll do it for federal minimum wage, $7.25 an hour. You'll be making like a day's pay every hour. When do we have tribunals and clean the system? We'll see. Still, you brother. I heard that India. I've heard that about India. I've never been so much. Can't say much. Yeah. What's up, UK lady? Timu Obama. Georgia 2020. So yeah, it was obvious. It was obvious. I mean, even if everything else wasn't, and Biden still won, but Georgia was an obvious. Like, listen, they had cameras. They saw them pull out suitcases that had unfolded ballots. They didn't even fold the ballots before that, and they can't get to you or get back without being folded and put into an envelope. And so that was obvious. It was super obvious that at least those 35,000 votes were illegitimate. Now, they might have been all for Trump. They might have been all for Biden, but like the thing is, it was obvious that it was played with. And there's a lot of gang activity in Atlanta, so that's who was involved with it. NATO is a waste of money, and Europe ripping the U.S. off. Okay, Ohio has a bigger military than the UK. NATO is weak. Yeah, all right. Well, and that's the thing. It's defensive, but that doesn't make any sense because it's not defending anybody. Who has it defended? They haven't defended anybody. They just act like a police force, but they're just distributing aid for the most part. But also the other countries distribute aid too. So it's an extra step, and it's somebody to get in the way. They're talking heads. Forgot India, now the caste system. Yeah. Georgia's Republican except Atlanta. Yeah. Blind man back in the house. Where's Mitch McConnell? Where's Waldo? Europe also has no major domestic manufacturing or energy production. NATO. Yeah, they screwed up really bad. Yeah. India marriages arranged. Jamie Schweitzer. Boy, the numbers. Because 1960 plus 7 in Europe not paying for their own military and letting us defend them. Yeah, and that got pretty obvious too. So when people in America start talking about affordability, and then we get to take some time off of work for a little while to say what's going on. And then we see that we're helping the rest of the world, and we're helping them with things that are wackadoodle when we're talking about affordability here. So, I mean, I have to agree with Trump on what he's doing that way. And it looks like the reports that came out today that 60 or 57 economists said that it was going to be high, and all of them were wrong. Every single economist was incorrect about inflation lowering. They were like, no, it's going to destroy that. So they were all wrong. Every single one of the 57 economists that reported on it, they were all wrong. So something's doing better than they anticipated. NATO was created to give Rothschild easier control. Prove me wrong. I can't prove you wrong. Well, Michigan water pipe broke, so the watchers went so early, continued throughout the night. They did that same thing here in Atlanta. We had a water pipe burst in Atlanta also. Well, Fulton County. Joe Biden did not get 80 million votes. No, absolutely not. NATO is to defend against USSR. Yep. The Democrats, I talk about currently what the use is now. The use is now, it's not. The Democrats are trying to get ahead of Trump's speech Thursday. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. You look like my algebra professor. Thank you, Omar. Hopefully he's a good professor. Yeah, confidence. It's a confidence, right? It's when things go too good and everybody seems pretty happy and they just have us fighting over like racism and stuff. They're just jamming money into their pockets. Like they have all this, oh, we have to worry about the racism and then the freaking, and then so it's like, okay, so you want that to be the boogeyman, even though race relations were better in the 90s, so it got worse somehow. Is it because you started putting stuff on loose? Then body cams and stuff started coming out. People are like, okay, we want our money back. The mainstream left-wing media all the trying to discredit Trump's going to say, they don't want to get caught. President Trump doesn't mess around and talk shit. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's a good man. Good, brother. It's good to have good professors, especially coming up. I had a couple of really good ones, even though I dropped out of high school and never made it past my first semester in college. But I had some really good. My chemistry, my physics professor was really, really good. My instructor in high school physics, chemistry, he would always say, "Let me see your hands," and he would count my fingers to make sure I didn't blow one off, because we were always talking about energetic chemistry, if you understand what I'm saying. Race relations did not get bent to about. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they were like, how can we set up a bunch of NGOs to so we can get paid tons and tons of money and roll the narrative. Honestly, if you don't vote Democrat, you're heartless, and if you vote Republican, you're brain dead. At the castle of the Wizard of Oz. Do you recall the abysmal activity that occurred today? Which one, Space Cow? Dems hate America. They're so hard. Yeah, that's the big problem, is that people that don't hate Trump but are Democrat, they're tired of the Democrats always saying, and like CNN and MSNBC, every time something doesn't seem to go Trump's way, but is bad for America, they're like, he's such an idiot. Yeah, I'm so glad we get to pound in his face. It's hurting all of us. It's hurting all of us. All right, it's like, so they would like to see the country burn just to be able to say, while we're on that sinking ship, I told you I was right, Trump's a blah, 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 blah. Okay, great, but how do we win under Trump? If there's people getting rich under Trump, how can we, you should be able to win no matter who's in office, and you can. But if they can convince you that you can't, then you won't even try. Dems are not normal Americans that disagree anymore. They openly, actively hate America for its downfall. I agree. And that's become a horrible thing. And the 4th of July, the Independence Day celebration, showed that to a lot of people. I really wish I could show my DMs. They specialize in narrowing the issue. It's either that, or it's never the big picture. They're hiding the big picture on purpose. Yeah. I mean, and like, what's up, Scott, brother? I think there's something going wrong, something with people's hormones. I have to agree, brother. I agree. There's definitely something going on with people's hormones. Definitely. We should start a fight in the club till we hit the reset button. Chucky Schmucky Schumer is talking about assassination and that civil war. Democrat socialism for all about there. Yeah, they're crazy. Mainstream wackado media. President Obama. Yeah, we mentioned that. Right. All right, let's see what we're gonna do. But it's so weird. The real odd thing and is you have these people that are just so unhappy, and they'll hate you if you're independent or if you're just not full-blown socialist. Like, they'll hate you. Like, look, like I promise I won't vote for Trump in 2028, but I will vote Republican. It's my vote is available. Win it. Win my vote. Tell me why I should, like if Rubio is gonna run for president, tell me why I should not vote for Rubio and I should vote for whoever you think is going to be the Democrat presidential nominee. I cannot imagine anybody. Rubio is everything Trump's not. Right, when it comes to like the professionality and whatnot, you know, and I think he'd be a great statesman, and he seems like they have really good ideas. A lot of people just said that we're slave holders, and like they won't run for the country, and how can you celebrate this country when Trump's destroying it? And they just want America to die. They want America to fail because Trump's in office. But I think these people are very short-sighted. Like, what about in 10 years? What's your 10-year plan? You gotta get rid of Trump. Okay, but if that doesn't work, what's your plan? What can you do now while he's in office? And it's really, people are really throwing their lives away over emotions. Yeah, brother. Now, the big picture of the 90s, WF, the World Economic Forum, decided to prevent World War III. They would have chance Chinese Empire passed the America tearing down America. Trump said no. I'm voting for Trump to cancel out one of my votes for the Democratic candidate. Never 1% want to divide us. Never against neighbor, brother against brother. Yeah, and COVID went a long way to help push that. No system works once corruption reaches a certain level and the fish rots the head down. Yep. Some dummy just said if you vote Republican, you're brave. Yeah, we read it. You have to repeat it. Rent crew is up $85 and silver's down to 58. Things are getting hectic. Rent crew? Can the earth can be the earth pulse that changes? Maybe that's why the hormones gone crazy. Brother, it's either that or the freaking or some sort of freaking wackadoo additive that they put in our food. Who else here is the one who cares the president's team? I am. Listen, I'm going to make sure I win no matter who's in office. People are throwing their lives away because Trump's in office. And I think there's a subset of people that do not ever want to have kids. And so they're not thinking about the future at all. So they're not planning ahead. And like, okay, like, and all the argumentation I get from the lefties are, but Trump. I said, I promise I won't vote for him in 2028, but tell me why I shouldn't vote Republican. The Democrats don't seem like they have a long-term outlook for America. And what's been going on? Like now that like the rest of the world's going right-wing real fast. Sir, many politicians' children study abroad while poor students can't afford, in my opinion, exam paper, poor education. Yes, yeah, right. Why they do that on purpose? Because they don't want to pay. They don't want to pay to upgrade the education systems in your country to something that they'd want to send their kids to. That should be like a requirement that if you're a politician, you cannot send your kids out of the country. That way they'll start working together to give you guys world-class colleges and universities. Didn't matter who president is, they would have tried to. POTUS matters. Give me a pro-America Trump over any time. Yeah, I agree with that too. I'm just tired of being like, they're so hateful and like Debbie Downers. They're just all like, are you ever happy? How can I be? What do you mean, how can you be? Exactly. People are waking up these days. I can't see the reality. It's that simple. I agree. I just got some weed today. Mid-1980s Jamaican. Brown frown. The brown frown. Well, so there's not only a shadow government, there's definitely a shadow government. And actually, that like we had a Supreme Court ruling that said that there is unelected officials that have been in our government unelected for like the past like 20 some odd years at a minimum that have been like through each presidency. So they're the ones that are doing the thing. I think they call it the deep state. And so the Supreme Court finally said that Trump can fire anybody that he needs to fire to get his agenda done. So like that looks like that's being taken care of. We have ignored global warming since the 1960s. Oops. Yeah, listen. You got to figure that out, right? Do you believe that there's a shadow government to try to assassinate? Yes, that's why I believe it. That's why I believe it. You are uneducated, poor, and desperate. I am. But it's someone else's fault. Try MAGA. Call now to receive a bonus freedom coin to prove your patriotism for $299.99. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Global warming is simply just false narrative that climate change. When data and propaganda. Yeah, puppet masters. That's what I call that. It's basically what they call climate change. Yeah. Again, shadow government, BlackRock, Rothschilds, Freemasonry. It's ABCs. The bureaus run the head of government. Hey, dummies, crop, landslide. In my opinion, politics benefits the powerful while it's very difficult for many poor people in India. Yeah, and they know that. They absolutely know that. The only way to succeed in areas like that is the people have to start their own They're like, look what the Muslims do when they come into other countries. They set up their own separate parallel society. So if the people of India would say, we're going to start figuring out what the rules we're going to follow for ourselves and make for ourselves. Okay, we need food. You 50 people start growing some food over here and over there. You 50 people, and just start doing. When the government sees that you're doing that, they'll either absorb you in and then like fund what you're doing there so that they could then make money off of that. But if people just sit around and rot, nothing will happen. You can't wait for the government to save your life. And that's what the kids, the children in America, especially on the left, absolutely are waiting for the government to save their lives and think all they need is a Democrat and everything will be fine. And they're 100% wrong. So then when they get in, they'll just say, well, Trump ruined it so bad that your life still sucks. And they'll just keep blaming it on previous administrations. That's the way it's been going. They always blame, well, I inherited this mess. You know, so you've got to stop. You have to figure it out on your own. What do you need to make sure that you survive? Then how can you break down? How can you spend the least amount of money as possible? Don't drink, don't smoke cigarettes, don't do drugs. Yeah, and start learning about investing. You've got a cell phone, you've got a computer, you can find ways to do things to make American dollars, even like answering quizzes and stuff like that. You can make $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 here and there. And that'll go a longer way in India. And then if you could have 40 people all working on that, doing that, you can pool the money together. Then you can start figuring out little things that you need to do. But people don't do that. People are like, I got my money. I made $6.12 and you only made $4. I ain't giving you my money. So that's a huge problem. The feeling of community that's required, because when people come together, they can move mountains. Absolutely. But people aren't coming together anymore, especially in places like India. Democrats have dug themselves a hole. The best thing we can do is encourage them, giving them shovels. Nobody cares. I care. Shut up, dude. What are you talking about? Stop talking to people like that. The best way to fight back is to consume less. Self-control. No more bread and circuses, right? You would like, I plan on going in the next couple years. Absolutely. The planets are the people that worship the helmet, the Mindo geometric works. The mind of geography. Democrats can't win unless they cheat. Dude. The wife kicked me out of the house. Oh, there you go. Now you got to go over to your girlfriend's house. All right, see you later, Scott. What if they said Trump would have tried to... I don't know, brother. You're crazy. You're crazy. You're definitely stoned. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we can find here. All right, brother. All right, Scott. Democrats just talk about the terms of beliefs, never have logic or facts or reasons. All right, let's see. Facelifts are ruining your face. This really happened on CBS. Cut your granny off. That bison attack was rough. FIFA World Cup. Blue is propofol synthesis. Sweet codeine. Define what a woman is. This is getting out of hand. And more importantly, who's your favorite Pokemon? Squirtle. Everybody's favorite Pokemon, Squirtle. Can you cast sulfur? Supergirl only made $3 million? Let's see. Biologist explains inside American's Cup. Here's why you don't bring a pit bull to Walmart. Jeez. Roadblock sounds. Mayor loses control of voter system. What? LA mayor loses control as voters storm meeting over failed fire response. Uh-oh, Mayor Karen Bass is in trouble. She's been sleeping with my mistress for months. How dare she? But as soon as she found out about the two of us, she kicked me out. Freaking rude. She can't talk no sense into him. My favorite is Shuckle. All right, Siraj, brother. Have a good night, brother. Thank you for coming in, my friend. Any female with the nose ring is also disagrees with lies. Yeah, it seems that way. Trump cheats at golf. Probably cheated at Monopoly as a kid. Sweet codeine to interact. Yeah, the whole vast natural fact. What costs $120,000 to make? What costs $120,000 to make? Let's see. So Mondami froze rents, and now rents are up to $6,000 a month. Like, so the surrounding areas that don't have rent frozen, the rents went up for everybody else. So because the people that oh, that's so freaking dumb. That's why I only do 6. Oh, Supergirl like costs $120,000 to make. Yeah, they were probably like, listen, AI, make this freaking girl, she's freaking cool, freaking fly. Hey, Grok. All right, that thing. Make your own ground beef. Little scam fell apart. No, that was pretty cool. I watched that earlier. They need their phones locked up. Social media has ruined college and made a lot of freaking OnlyFans. Supergirl lost money. They were talking about having Sydney Sweeney at Super Bowl. Yeah. If they would have had Sydney Sweeney, they'd have freaking made $1 billion. Absolutely. I'd have went to see it. I'm not interested at all in Supergirl, but just to support Sydney Sweeney, I'd have went. Hollywood's nothing but pedophile. Saying a lot of both. Dear AI, please make me a Supergirl, super sexy. Are you alliterating my lists? I'm a big fan of Caitlin Clark and Sophie Vaughn. Don't trust white people. She accidentally said the quiet part out loud. Uh-oh. Florida open carry just got very real. Facebook, illusion of religion in Africa. Nuclear power is back. Uh-oh. Where? Teen sentenced to prison for murder. Damn, Cummins a great sound of 5 minutes. That's why I only watch Pirated. They need to get a trans Supergirl. I'm surprised they didn't. Sir, India wasn't like this before. Things were going well, in my opinion. Over the last 10 years, people elected an unsuitable prime minister, and that's why people in India are facing the problems today. Do you honestly believe that? Do you honestly believe that one person prime minister destroyed everything like that? It's absolutely possible. I don't know your politics that well, but if everybody that's in a country that big needs to find a way to stand out, either serve the people and what's the plan? What's the plan? Like are you guys working on his replacement? And do they know what you want? Or are you letting your issues be known? I trusted white people once. Best night ever. All right, Louisiana. So I heard Taco Bell might be one of the call. Oh, so very interesting thing about the super diarrhea parasite. So when a bunch of people were crossing the border in 2022, 23, 24, there's a big farm area that a lot of them went through. People were pooping and peeing in the fields where we make a lot of lettuce. And apparently this new worm, this new parasite that's getting people sick, 7,000 people in like 30 some states, could be from people that crossed the border pooping in the fields, and some of them having parasites could have got in there. All right, pastors go off on Democrats. Uh-oh. Let's see what Doc Rich has to say. Well,
and I don't get into all the woo-woo stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not very religious at all.
Michigan. Jeez.
But the greatest case for the devil is the Democratic Party. I've never in my life. Every time I look over there and I wonder if God's real sometimes. The fact that the Democratic Party exists and I see some of the things that they're a part of and the things that they stand behind and push, the people groups that they exploit is the greatest case for the devil, which in turn is the greatest case for the existence of God. There is evil in that party and they're under the influence of demonic. The greatest case
I agree with.
So hey, brother, listen. Then you need to find a remote job. You should be looking. If you can speak English, then you should be going to companies in other countries that will do remote work and see if you can get hired. You know, if they're offering $100,000 a year, say you'll do it for $50,000 or $30,000 a year. That's a hell of a lot more money than you'll get in India. And if you tell a company that you'll do that, you got a much better chance of them at least giving you a try. But you got to put in the effort. And the caravan Central America abusing of Mexicans took them in. And now the Mexicans are kicking out. They're going door to door and they're having protests right now, kicking out illegal aliens right now. So now that the cartel and the government and the people that were making money from the millions of people that were passing through Mexico into America, they had a whole industry that was making money all through just people coming through, even like the food and stuff. You know, making meals for them and whatnot. Now that's dried up. So now all the people that were hoping to get into America before when Trump got elected and shut the border down, they're all stuck in Mexico. And now Mexico's kicking them out. So Mexico's going through and deporting people, and all the people are pissed because all the housing and stuff. So now the housing prices went up because now those illegals who had money, I mean, they had money to fly to Mexico, so they got houses and stuff like that. They got money from USAID and whatnot. So now all the housing prices and stuff has gone up. So now they're trying to kick everybody out so the housing prices will go back down. It's crazy. Book by Michael Savage, Immigrant and Epidemics. How can India be bad? Modi is friends with Israel. Should be blessed, right? I thought that was like the secret trick. I was number one once, worst not ever. The immigrants were sleeping the burn. He should have low-key work for NASA. Santiago will be half of the white delegation. I would like to say better off drinking with being number one. All the planets Federation are assumed control. Big dog, what up, Luke? You mentioned that. Okay.
With that 100%. That party is just pure evil.
The meek shall inherit the earth. And think pure all this started with Harambe. Yep, that's where it started. That's the linchpin right there.
Some of the politicians, at least. I won't say all. But even their voting base. I mean, some of the meanest people ever. And it's crazy because they always accuse us of being like the mean, nasty, and terrible folks. But in reality, it's them. We see video clip after video clip all the time of them assaulting us. Simply because we disagree. Right? Crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. Throwing bullets in our direction. Can't forget about that one. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. My goodness. But, yeah, glad I'm not the only one that feels that way.
I am so tired of people trying to tell me this. This is a political rant, so if you don't want to hear it, keep scrolling. I'm a pastor. I've been a pastor for 17 years. I'm a Christian. I'm a father. I am a black man in America. But I am so tired of people in the Democratic Party trying to tell me that I'm not a pastor, that I'm not a Christian, that I'm not a black man if I don't vote for Democrats. How come it's the people that claim to be the party of what is supposed to be racial unity that keep causing the most racial division? I don't have
That's a good question.
People in the Republican Party telling me I can't be black unless I vote Republican. I don't have people in any other party telling me that except the Democrats. If you're trying to define me by my skin color,
you gotta figure it out. What up, Tom?
The problem is not with me. The problem is with you and with your party.
Yeah, somehow, Luke, somehow along the way, that got lost in translation. Like, for some reason, especially hardcore leftists don't see people in the center or people on the right as humans anymore. Like, for some reason, and whether it's antidepressants or drugs or insanity or whatever, it's like when I'm in the center, they're like, well, then you're just as bad as Trump. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, convince me to be on your side. And they're like, just like, kill yourself. And okay. All right. Like, that's the way it is. And it's like, they're not very inviting at all. They're very, like, at least with the Christians, if you're not a Christian, they're like, well, we'll give you time. Eventually, in a couple of years, maybe you'll find God. But they're not like, they're like, right now, you'll freaking obey or die. And like, it's gone absolutely overboard. It's not like people that like you trust your kids around. Like, hey, I need a kid to can you babysit my kid? You know, like you're like, no, I don't know anybody on that hardcore lefty that I would trust my children with. Something crazy when you didn't have much views and you watch crazy stuff and make brownies. Yeah, it was the good old days, brother. It's the good old days. Get your Trump dollars down. British Columbia kid. I heard there's $100 Trump bills now. $100 bills with Trump's signature on it. My next son's gonna be named Donald J. Kirk Harambe Esquire. What up, Tom, brother? Sir, I want to work abroad. Yeah, you got to figure that out, dude. You're gonna have to figure out a way to spend the least amount of money as possible. If it takes you 5 years to start raising the money to get the money together. I got no idea how you do. I got no idea. You know, like I don't know what you can do to try to raise money here and there. Make brownies. Yeah, maybe, brother. Probably not this week. It's hot. I'm not gonna have the oven on baking brownies a couple days. So glad we have Trump dollars now. These commies can choke on it. These guys get so annoyed with the leftist carrots raising their heads like, yo, I'm over here, a normal person, also black, not difficult. He's telling you to stay in India, but work remote for dollars. Right. That's what I would do. Work remote, then make the money. Miranda, you could eat my gummy worms.
Which I want no part of.
He ain't lying. He ain't lying. It's pretty wild, isn't it? They always accuse Republicans of being, you know, the racist, but yet they voted for and supported a guy who literally said out loud on camera, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black.
He told me that too.
Now, if Trump had said those exact same words,
call MAGA stupid,
we'd still be hearing about it to this day. As
Trump stay voted for USA, yeah.
To this day.
Bogus memes. See, I agree. Democrat wacko wingers hiding out in the bus of the golf course. Shot until like that. So it's like a Steven Solis. He starts sleep on SKS. Hey.
Last time you heard mainstream media mention the fact that Joe Biden said that? Been a while, huh? When's the last time you heard a Democrat mention it? I guess mainstream media are Democrats, but, you know, just the average American citizen Democrat, when's the last time you heard them bring it up in any type of video across the entire internet? Yeah, exactly. Been a while, huh? Now just imagine if Trump had said those exact same words, how many times a day do you think you'd hear some Democrat bring that up? A lot, right? A lot. At least once a day by now. I mean, it would have been, you know, many, many years now at this point, but still. You would still be hearing about it at least once a day. Every single day. Every single day.
Saw that clip a million times. Push propaganda on us too, bro.
Pretty wild, man. Let's keep it rolling because I got some more clips for y'all.
Everyone. The Democratic Party is a demonic death cult under the power and influence of Satan. Hold on. No, I'll explain why I say hold on. To vote for the Democrats is to vote for a platform that is building their platform upon everything God hates. The mutilation of bodies, the annihilation of babies in the womb, and the sexualization of your children. That is their calling card. That is what they want to do. They don't hide that. They have abortion facilities outside of the Democratic Convention. Everyone.
I will never forget that.
There are no Democrats or no comments. Yeah, I think that's what's going on.
They had mobile abortions outside the DNC.
He's just been repeating the same thing over and over again. I think he's just begging for money. I can't help him. I don't have any money. And he's repeating the same thing over and over again. I've got AI skills. I've got this and that. I can't afford to get to America. Okay, cool. I've got AI skills. I've got computers. I want to get into America. I got AI skills. I got computers. Okay, I get it. You're trying to freaking scam us. I got you, brother. You're not helping with the freaking Indian stereotype. Yeah. Do you think flat earth controlled opposition make conspiracy theories sound dumb? I think they do it on purpose. Absolutely. I'm surprised India's doing poorly. I blame scam alerts on the phones. I think that's huge. Listen, I've worked Worked with lots of Indians. I worked lots of Indians, Bollywood type stuff. Worked in the film industry. Worked lots. Great, kick ass. I've also worked with people like that were doing editing and stuff with me. Great, cool. And then I've got other guys that like will lead you on and be like, I'll do all your editing for free, but I need 64 gigs of RAM. Can you send me $400? My RAM just died. And I'm just like, okay. So you just talk to me for a freaking half hour so that you can ask me for freaking $400 so you can get 64 gigs of RAM. Send me a picture of a laptop, but he wants me to get fucking full-size sticks of RAM, but send the money. So, okay, you can't fit full-size sticks of RAM in a laptop. So it's just scams. Scams. Abortion facilities also have vasectomy vans. Jesus. I've joined this chat to come down and warn you about the devil himself, Mickey Mouse. So did you hear that what's the name of the museum? Smithsonian had a anti-racist white propaganda, black propaganda for evil white racism that said that Mickey Mouse was blackface, was trying to make blackface comfortable in America so that people could make fun of black people. And like this is what it says on a placard in the freaking Smithsonian about they're trying to say anything that connects to America is racist or evil or whatever. So you can't even enjoy Mickey Mouse because it's racist because his face was black or his ears or whatever. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. True, the whole story of Jed is anti-Christianity. Yes, yeah, absolutely. And it's very interesting to read the Bible and then to see that this is absolutely the opposite of it. But I can't tell if they're doing it on purpose. Like, hey, like some billionaire bet another billionaire $1 to see who they could get to either be on one side or the other. They want act so smart and resourceful. Well, it smells like Christian nationalism needs to be eradicated. I disagree. I mean, but I also don't really know what Christian nationalism is these days. If you're a Christian and you love the country, is that what you mean? Is that a Christian nationalist? India is the anus of the world. Any country that accepts abortion, not teaching people to love, using violence to give it on. Yeah, it is street food. That's what Brutal's talking about. Give me the RAM. That's the joke. I just download your RAM, bro. The most important thing, the wacko Democrat left, bro, sexualize it after it's born. You're right. Muslims need to be, brother, they're having a rough time right now, that's for sure. What do you talk about demons and the devil? I always start fighting back with prayer. A lot of people have fight. What's up, Dane? The banhammer has arrived. Blackface was already comfortable in America. Dr. Wiener the Butcher. I got some absinthe tonight, make a big mistake. The stuff's terrible. Yeah, I don't like it either. Don't forget to subscribe, like Discord. Thank you, brother Tom. Drinking some paint thinner with spices. I read the Bible and God has a much higher kill count than the devil. Well, so if you know how that works, because the devil got up on him. Christian nationalism is pretty is better than open borders, gay race, communism. Christian nationalism is a bunch of lunatics performing being Christians. Drinking something, yeah, that's crazy. 70% absence. Why it's so strong? What's up, Richard? It's weird all of a sudden Christian whack jobs are MAGA X times 10. And the problem is the good thing about it is if you actually understand any religion, and then you have performative people that act that like Christian or Muslim or Jewish or whatever, you can tell that they're just in it for the bullshit because they're not saying what they're supposed to be saying or not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So it's just performative. And I think rage baiting is a very profitable tool for these people. Why are not more senators in jail yet? That's Democrats. Brother, supposedly there's supposed to be something coming out Tuesday about a lot of that wackadoo stuff. The difference between patriotism and nationalism is patriot is proud of his country for what it does. Nationalist is proud of his country no matter what it does. All right. Christian nationalists are the ones who wrote the founding documents. Person said the fact that Democrat socialism needs to be eliminated. I'm a deist. I'm a deist. Oh, rock me. I'm a deist. Sorry. Still better than a gay race communism. Richard Dugan. Luke does not like the religions. So yeah, Sharia law is definitely on that list.
It's pretty wild, isn't it? Pretty wild. And when you really start thinking about it, you look at these inner cities that Democrats run, where mainly black people live, and it's riddled with crime, death, chaos, poverty. And then you go to the DNC where you know black women are going to show up. And what do you offer them? Hey, just exterminate yourselves. Here's abortions. Now, we're not going to tell you that's what it is. We're going to package it in some nice, fluffy packaging. Like, hey, this is
healthcare.
This is your right. It's my body, my choice, right? But here's an abortion clinic. Abort your kids. Delete yourselves from the gene pool.
No boy, no.
When you really think about it, the Democrat Party really hasn't changed. Their tactics have changed, but the strategy really hasn't changed. I mean, think about it. Didn't really like black people back in the day. Kind of wanted to eliminate them. If you didn't eliminate them, make them work for free. Keep them as slaves. Well, can't do that anymore, so we might as well eliminate them like we were doing before. Well, we can't just eliminate them just out in the open like that. So how can we get them to just do it themselves? Got it. We're going to offer them abortions. Just saying. Just saying. Y'all can let me know in the comments if I'm crazy or not. Maybe I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments,
this country,
please.
And remain in this.
Hold on, brother. Hold on.
If you can get arrested for hunting and fishing without a license,
The first,
but you can enter this country and remain in this country illegally. You got a country run by idiots.
Try to tell me Christianity's not working. Yeah.
If you have to
right. Listen, you can love people and not be ruled by them. You can love people and hope that they find a way out of their ignorance. Like the difference between religions that will kill you and if you leave it, and religions that pray if you leave it or pray that you'll find it. That's a huge difference. Love is not what's promoted as you've got to be abused by. Like I thought you loved gay people. Great. Yeah, sure. I love them. I don't want them to die. I want the best for them. I also want them to find a way that they can find reproduction and happiness in their lives without hurting other people. But the issue with the way it's been packaged is that we need it for all. Everybody needs everybody needs to promote what they want to promote. And if it goes against somebody's core beliefs, that's working against their religious freedoms. But they're saying, well, this isn't a religion, but you absolutely believe it, you know? That's a huge part of it. Love, like you can love people and cut them out of your life because you don't want to be hurt by them. Love doesn't mean that you can be abused by people over and over and over again. The difference between real life stories and propagandist counts of the story. Nobody cares how many family, about the families of the people John Wick kills. That's right. Unless it's COVID, then it's your body, their choice. That's right. It's not just Tuesday. There's going by Trump on Tuesday, on Thursday, FBI going rogue on national weaponized the government. That should be interesting. Your Cocoa for Coke and Puffs. Cocoa for Coke and Puffs? What? Patriotism is when love of your own people comes first. Nationalism is when you hate for people will come first. What's up, Sir Reginald Bumquist? The third. It doesn't matter who tells you the truth. You're into imaginary friends. January 6th, there's troubles in a lot of 2020 election. Christianity is not love. Yeah. You get love. You can be accepting, and if a gay person comes back and says, "Hey, I want to know more about your life and your religion and your beliefs," you're not going to be like, "Sorry, F you, die," like they treat us. And exactly the opposite. Propriety. Left-wing media is trying to get ahead of Trump. You already mentioned that. Federalism reserve is eliminating. Christopher Columbus spoke Italian when he discovered America. What language is spoken in America today? English. It appears the U.S. government is going to revalue gold level $33,000 because it's currently at $4,200. No bastards, double bastard baby makers, and fornicators. Bastards, baby makers, and fornicators. Even evildoers. No one says Latin language, but only English. The nationalist not only does not disapprove of atrocities committed by his own side, but he has remarkable capacity for not even hearing about them. Maybe I don't know any nationalists. I'm done arguing with Luke. He's saying a bunch of anecdotal based BS.
Your parents' permission to go on a field trip and get an aspirin at school. But you don't have to get their permission to get an abortion. You got a country run by idiots. If you must show identification to board an airplane and cash a check and check out a library book, but you don't have to show identification to vote in our elections, you got a nation run by a bunch of idiots. If the government wants to prevent and they want to take our guns away and turn around and send F-16 fighter jets to our enemy countries, take our guns away, and give ammunition to our enemy countries, you have a country run by idiots.
About tolerate, not accept means you have to participate.
In the nation's largest city, New York City,
5 Gospels of Jesus, my friends. All 5?
You can buy 2 16-ounce Cokes.
Trump president brings a matter of personal choice.
But you can't buy 1 24-ounce Coke, because 24 ounces of a sugary Coke will make you fat.
Not yet, brother.
But you can buy 2 16 ounces. You got a country and a city run by some idiots. If your government believes the best way to eradicate trillions of dollars in debt is to spend more trillions of dollars in debt, you got a country run by idiots.
There you go. Everybody sins.
Yeah, for 4 years there, we definitely did with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris at the helm. That is for darn sure. My goodness. My goodness. You know, to me, the chaos that Democrats cause, it has to be done on purpose. There's no way you can tell me that this is them trying to fix things. When it's just utter chaos, wherever they are. In this country, when Joe Biden was the president.
All right, so first of all, we have no idea if God gives children cancer. Absolutely might. It could also be that something that's allowed in our food system happens to get into the mother and gets that. Is that the God giving the baby cancer? We don't know. We have no idea. We don't know how God works. And God will also, if you read the books, flood the world and destroy everybody because they get too far on the other side. So we don't actually know, but we're here. We do know that. We're here. Those terrorists killing school children. Better accept that because it's sin too. Gold is not valued by the U.S. government at $4,200. It's valued at $42. It's actually what Sad saying. Rebuke his behavior, sin humanity is for redemption. One time. Sorry, Christians believe that. God does that. Some do, absolutely. I've talked to a lot of Christians. Some do believe that and don't know why. But also, we don't know. Like we don't even know when did that start? Do the children did start with cancer, start dying, getting these kind of cancers before we started adding all this wackadoo stuff to our food and started playing around with nature and whatnot? We got no idea. We have no idea if it's something from atomic freaking testing that we've done, which is absolutely evil. Now, is that result of what we've done? I got no idea. I don't know what that means. I heard a group of certain elites from WF purchased approximately 5,000 guillotines 10 years back. Jeez. I'm way far behind here. Gold is currently... You keep repeating that shit, dude. I'm going to block you. History and experiences tell us that moral progress comes comfortable, complacent at times, out of trial and confusion. Christians believe God gives babies cancer because Eve ate an apple. Am I preaching this to his choir here? Yeah, you're preaching to the choir. They don't know. Listen, you can't trust what people say. You've got to go look for it yourself. And if you can't find it in God's word, stop listening to what people say. That people are stupid. You also have people saying God is non-binary, supposed Christian preachers. If you read where they got that information from, they didn't get it. They made it up. They're just trying to deceive people. Yeah, it's wackadoo stuff. It's wackadoo stuff. They don't know. You're talking to some people that said, oh, well, I think they didn't read somewhere in the Bible that God gave people cancer because Eve bit an apple. That's not in the Bible. I've read it. It's not in there. Right? People make shit up. You're not confused. You're paying. You're not confused. You're not paying attention. No Christian believes that. Represent other people's religion. Yeah, they're wackadoodle. Bucko, I haven't heard that since the 70s. I'm talking about the host. You can ban me if you need. I'm not banning you. I'm not banning you. Absolutely not. I'm telling you, if people say shit, people say a lot of shit. But what I'm talking about is you can't try to understand a religion or a doctrine by what people say. The only thing you can know about it is what's from history and the books that were written about that. That's all you can get. Somebody can say God gave me an ingrown toenail because freaking Eve bit the apple. That isn't true, though. It's not even gospel. It's not even in the literature. It might have been because I wore tight shoes, right? So this is what I'm talking about. We don't know. We don't know if God gave the child cancer. We don't know if nature gave the child cancer. We don't know if something absolutely wacky happened. So they just say things like that because they misunderstand their own what they say that they believe. Yeah, it's not that's just wackadoodle stuff. I'm not gonna ban you. Don't be afraid to be confused. Try to remain permanently confused. Anything is possible. Wait till the day you die, a world without end. Kid wants to ban me because I'm questioning his religion. I'm not. Squirty Dinkins? Okay, how much? What's your favorite? Dr. Weeder? Building an army of physics. Physics? Psychics. What up, Space Cow? That's right. I'm talking about the shit people say and how it makes it distrustful. Everyone talking about it. Yeah, right. That's why I don't go to a church or anything like that. Anything I do, I would read on my own. And that's the problem. The problem is deception. People don't know what they're talking about. They like a lot of people want to act like so high and holy, and then they say, "Oh, I've been to church and this is that." They ain't read the freaking book. But somebody told them that, or it was on the news once, and they've repeated it again for 20 years. But it's not truth. Like you can say some asshole said to me that God gives children cancer because Eve bit the. So having cancer is not a sin. And in the story, sin is created because Eve bit the apple, not cancer. Cancer wasn't created because Eve bit the apple. That's just an idiot. Somebody that absolutely did not read that. So I'm just saying, don't listen to people. If you're interested in knowing what the doctrine is, I read it. But I'm just saying, people do it. It's like, but yeah, right, 100%, 99.9999% of Muslims have never read the Quran or the Hadiths, especially not in totality. They'll read what's required reading during Ramadan and what's required reading for their 5 daily prayers, but they have no idea about 90%, more than 90%. Have you read? Why do Twinkies taste good? Why can't I eat a whole box daily, Rich? Sugar and freaking seed oils. Islam isn't a religion. It's a political movement. I've read both the Bible and the Quran. How much of the Bible have you been original? The very rights and freedoms of the laws, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the laws established by God. Right, and so what I think one of the reasons that they're pushing so secular, why they push so much secular, is because they want to be able to take away when it says the inalienable rights that we have given to us by our Creator, endowed on us by our Creator. That's what it says in our paperwork. It's what it says in the Constitution. And so if the government entity that wants to be able to change that, then if they can convince everybody to go along with saying, okay, God's not real, therefore there's no creator, therefore we can reinterpret the Constitution to say, then these things that were given to us by our endowed upon us our Creator, they can now reinterpret that and say, well, the Creator was actually the creator of the document, and I think he meant that everybody needs to get freaking butt tattoos that say Bernie Sanders for president. I can't do churches establish sex. I agree. I can't dance religious bullshit. There's a lot of Christians that use the roads. Yeah, I agree. Didn't you show me some back stretching the other day? What was that called? Me? What'd I do? I'm from Ireland. It's everywhere. The moral affliction exists because bad actions got right. And the big thing, listen, a lot of people go to church because they look at the Bible and they say, that's a lot of little words, a lot of very little text, little type, small font, a lot of words to read, and they don't want to read it. So they just figure they'll go find the important parts, get the cliff notes, go to church, have a pastor tell them what the important parts are. And the problem is, especially where we're at now, is you've got people that are absolute liars, like there's absolute ubiquitous Christian female pastors that are saying like abortion's okay, God's blessing your abortion and stuff, and that's absolutely antithetical to what it says in the Bible. The Bible absolutely says to do not kill your children, and then they're like, well, because the pastor knows that the people in the audience haven't read it. So then if a girl wants to be a holy but get an abortion, she'll go one of those churches and be like, oh, to try to get like plausible deniability before the God. Be like, well, the pastor said it was cool. Yeah, it's wackadoodle shit. Quran is all about chopping infidels' heads off. Yeah, don't leave, right? The reason people get cancer is because of parasites. That's what I think. Yeah. You know something about religion and science, go on and perceive notions about what others say. I read an English translation of The Crayon. It told me to be like children, so I tossed and he shakes his head. Thanks for the holy judgment, Buckeye. I love myself now. So the stamped amount of the coin is 50, but the actual government's 42. No problem, brother. I'm here to help. Spot price is well over 3,000. What up, Profac? Had a double dose. I did. I absolutely did, Profac. So I usually take 2 methylfolate and 1 methylcobalt, 1 B12. But I grabbed the wrong bottle and I took 2 B12 and 1 methylfolate. That's funny. Now he's deflecting and acting like I'm being judgmental and I attack and something. That's a Christian. It was 2 doctors doing a stretch that was called the Munson technique. Oh, no. Oh, you're talking about when you have like that was called it's called press ups, and it's the Mackenzie technique. So the press ups is when like you lay down on your bed, you keep your hips on the ground and you press up to like arch your back. It's the opposite of bending over. And so if you hurt yourself bending over, or you have like a sciatic nerve pain, let down your leg, or like from the back down the leg, butt cheeks, or you have herniated discs, then the Mackenzie technique is to do press ups to basically undo bending over pain, bending over issues. Yeah, Mackenzie technique. Yeah, good memory. You got a good memory. You got to start with an M. Says the fight against the infidels is jihad. Yeah. It's basically if you have a half ounce of gold eagles or 1/10 ounce of eagles at one, you go, oh, see, that's a $1 denomination on them. I bet no one has this chat has gold eagles, which that's 1 ounce gold eagles. I do not have any rounds. I have bullion, and I only have about a half ounce of gold, and I have a lot of silver. If God created everything, he also created bacteria, viruses, and parasites. That's correct. Either read the Bible or SDF. All gold eagles 1 ounce below for actual gold eagles. Right. So you have you also have they call it like value add, where the actual artwork is worth more than the gold itself, and that's just a freaking scam. Now infidels, I have you on the ass. Amazing notebooks. Oh, amazing. If anybody here is a stamped dollar bill of denomination, it's $50. Have you heard the ex-MP who was murdered in England? Gold Eagle, the ex-MP. What up, Mike? Welcome back, brother. It's a stick topic. Anyone here conversing about you, I'll be fine. Do not clog the chat with your random monologues. In a mere minute, friend. Listen here, engage. Okay, hold on. So what am I looking for? What was I looking for? The ex-MP murdered in England. Ex-MP murdered in England. Ex-MP. Oh, yes. MP. I was thinking military police, member of parliament. Yes, MP. Yes, that's crazy. Yes. Yes, I absolutely. That's some crazy shit. That's some crazy shit.
The investigation into the death of Anne Widdecombe has taken a new turn almost daily. Initially, there was no suggestion of murder until Friday. Police arrested a man locally on suspicion of killing the former Conservative.
You got it already? Yeah, boy. Awesome. I can't wait. I hope you're get a picture of yourself, put it on the Discord. How young fella, how big fella, what's going on, brother? What happened to me? What happened the other day? What I do? UK's die out. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it. England can slow die. I think it is. It happened as an Irishman. Yeah, that was. So, I don't know if Stevie, you still in here, brother? So he ordered one, and it took like freaking 10 days to get to him. But it was over the 4th of July, and like he ordered on a weekend and whatnot. So, but yeah, that was quick. That was real quick. Their politics matter. Okay, here, let's listen.
Government minister. They later released.
It's my school, my channel. Right here, 110th grade. More than you'd learn in high school and college.
Him. On Saturday, another man was arrested 400 kilometers away.
A 28-year-old white British man was arrested.
They had to emphasize the white British man.
His race mentioned
what
to
up, Bear?
Online speculation about who killed Widdecombe and why.
At this stage, there is nothing to suggest that it was politically motivated.
But on Monday, British counter-terrorism police took over the investigation after saying new information came to light, igniting anger toward police from Widdecombe's colleagues in the far-right Reform UK party.
Even if they haven't been, they now look as if they're trying to manipulate the public's view.
Britain's Home Secretary offered Reform UK
like
party leader
mobsters.
Nigel Farage a meeting with security officials.
UK is standing at the fork of the road. Two choices
particular concern that the Reform Party will feel today, and of course Nigel Farage, the party's leader.
This would be the third murder of a British political figure in 10 years. Labour MP Joe Cox was killed just before the 2016 Brexit referendum. And Tory MP David Amess was killed 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which Widdecombe urged that politicians should remain accessible.
I don't think we should use this as a reason for distancing.
On the day of her murder, Reform spokesperson Widdecombe had been due to appear on TV, as Farage faced criticism for taking a £5 million undeclared gift, money he previously claimed he needed for security. Redmond Shannon, Global News.
I tell you what, when you make deals with the devil like that, listen, and what it seems like, and I don't know British politics, but what it looks like is they made deals with very rich Middle Eastern conglomerates of it looks like organized crime. And they got a bunch of money. They got a bunch of people over there. And then the rape stuff and stuff started to go out of hand. And then it's like got to the point where they're like, if we step down, then the people that replace us will see what we've done. And then we won't be able to spend all the money that we got to get to do these deals. And it also seems like the same thing happened in America. Like especially in like California, like with the amount of money the cartels are making off of Californian laws. Like the laws allowing there to be open air drug markets, no arrests for drug use. You can get free crack pipes and free needles just for picking up old crack pipes and old needles. And it's just the cartels just walk across. Well, before the border was closed, they would just walk across the border with all the drugs they need, sell a whole bunch of it, go back and forth, and it was just like unlimited money supply. And then now, if anybody else gets elected, then all of this stuff gets to get looked through. So if a Republican gets in office, then all of this would fall apart. Like, what happened to all the money? Why did you get so many billions of dollars for homelessness and it got worse? And all these questions need to be answered. So it looks like they're having a rough time. Family was from England. They left for Canada generations ago because of this. And now Canada's following suit. UK can't build a railway. Yeah, freaking California did the same thing. They can't build a railway even though they got the money for it. Yeah. This was in the UK. Demonic Democrats used demon magic on Una. Boomers are starting to die. People are very paranoid about such a big portion of the population clearing out so fast. Brother, I think, like, especially in areas like the UK, they're dying off because there's no air conditioning. They don't like the most of the people. More people in the UK die without, or in Europe, die from not having air conditioning than people are shot and killed in America each year. More people die in Europe from not having air conditioning, from heat-related deaths, than people that get killed in America from guns. But the main people are going to be the older people. It's crazy. I lived in British Columbia, Canada. UK is crazy. Sounds like Hollywood. Sounds gangster shit. It sounds like gangsters. Like, listen, all that stuff that's legal now, like you have the drug use, the rapes, the wackadoo stuff, the parallel society, like the Sharia parallel societies. They got their own courts. So if somebody does something, they do their own arresting. It's not even part of the British government. And if they're getting government money and enriching themselves off of that, and then they get somebody, you got a right winger that comes in and says, we're getting rid of you guys. They'll be like, oh yeah, you're not taking this money, from my cold dead hands. Get out while you can. Yeah, grooming gangs. Yeah, that shit's so crazy. Just sold your home. Save Britain, man. Absolutely. Like the cartel torture. Yeah, that's what it seems like. You like when the cartel tortures you? Banned Arjanip. Yeah. See, there you go. He does. Demonic Dems use evil juju to kill Graham. Listen, it was a dissected aorta, so it absolutely could have been. Britain is screwed. Absolutely. I'm loving them late to the party. UK is falling in the gutter. Yeah, a lot of people are getting hurt, man. I hate seeing it. That's 90-year-old home loans in Canada. 90-year-old home loans? Just go farther north and be fine. Arabs and blacks don't stay in the cold climates for too long. Warning against my brothers and sisters out east. Apply politically. He says it's not that bad. Here in the middle of nowhere. He's on an island out in freaking the wackadoos. Europe can't produce enough energy. AC, they're jealous. Yeah. They've done shot themselves in the foot over this Green New Deal stuff. You need permission to have an air conditioner in the UK. And a TV license. Come to Berkeley. What up, freak out tent? They're getting forgiveness. Government loads take over as buses. Mike Ant. They aren't going anywhere. It's all, yeah, it's too easy, right? Absolutely. Yes, that's what it's what, like, it seems like karma. And remember, America was formed because wackadoodle shit was going on in England, and you had the Christians that wanted to separate. So they were the colonists that were running away from the wackadoo stuff in the UK came over to America. So there's nowhere else to run. He says no such thing. That's what that's a lie. You can watch TV without buying a license. You don't have to legally approve or disapprove. You have one for licensing. It's an unenforceable rule. I don't know, brother. I don't know. Maybe where you're at, but I know plenty of people that have gotten tickets from and had people look in their window. Like they said, like, knocks on the doors and said, I see your TV's on and you're not registered. I've heard it multiple times, probably 50 times over the past couple of years. Is anyone in the UK telling me if that's true? Does the BBC, they come after you if you don't have a license, a TV license? I mean, I absolutely, if people lie to me, but it's a lot of people over the years. It was one of the things we used to bring up all the time. What up, crying fish? Europe came with dictatorship. Yeah, same with Canada. The Brits and the French have fought between the North and the South, 1812. Anti-colonial D'Angelo. The TV licensing is like a private parking enforcement. You just ignore anyone that anyone paying them are snowflakes. So they say, Gregory. The UK has dudes drive around, knock on doors, and check. It's wild as hell. Yeah, that's yeah. I've heard, like, that's crazy. That there's people like meter maids. Yeah, I can see what you're saying, Sir Reginald. Like meter maids, they go by and they say, you don't have a license. And if they can see in your window and see it's on, they'll knock on your door and be like, are you watching freaking? That's crazy. And now, do you know what the BBC is doing? What the UK is doing with YouTube? They want to make it so if you're in the UK and you open up YouTube, the first things that pop up on the top page of YouTube will be BBC, and there'll be a box that says trusted sources. trusted sources. So like the first thing you see when you type anything in, if the BBC has it, if you type in anything in your search, and if the BBC has something on it, it'll be the first thing that'll pop up, and it'll be a box that says trusted sources. And that's what they're trying. What the UK is trying to do right now to YouTube is to force that, and that's crazy. Do they still have broadcast TV? Yeah. They teach about the War of 1812. I have no idea if they still teach about it. They did when I was a kid. The TV lessons might be related to piracy. Yeah, it was broadcast TV. They messed up. They have guns. All these laws gotta mean jack shit as long as someone owned property out. Yeah, you can ignore them because they're private salesman people in the UK now. Otherwise, okay. You're assuming. No TV license started is for the BBC. It's foreigner BritBox. The BBC is streaming free to us. Let's see. Yeah, I remember trying to stream Doctor Who, and I had to get a freaking this was years ago. I had to get a freaking VPN to stream Doctor Who. Anyway, let's see what I was looking for. Damn it. My brain went to the left. Freaking double dose of B12. I love it. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's crazy. Shot her in the back, huh? Canada people who blame Canadians actually went down and burnt the White House down in 1812. Freaking Canadians. And now they're supposed to be, they're like Americans, but nicer. That's the theory. All right, let's do this real quick. Okay, so let me see if I can find this thing about the wackadoos. Let me see if I can find this. Boom, 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 boom. Where's vitamin D at? Here it is. Okay.
Absurd. If I'm bitten.
All right, here it is. Let's see if I can find it. I need a VPN to access American services too, Netflix, etc. It's different. Your Netflix, yeah, it's different. Yeah, well, Netflix is a private company. It's nothing to do with having a TV license. I just meant that you couldn't see it in America without having a VPN. Not to have anything to do with the licensing thing. Just about I think I can't remember what question I was answering to with that. But yeah, that has everything to do with that. But you talking about the requirement for, like, you can't watch it without having. If you're not in the area, it's not accessible from outside that. You're supposed to have a license to see so. And if you had to have and you don't have that, and you're not in the area, it's not even accessible to you because they want you to pay for it. But Netflix isn't an American broadcasting station. Netflix is a company that exists in America that's selling a product. And like, you can buy each individual wackadoo or whatnot, or have but it's not the freaking news. Like, you figure everybody would get the news for free to say, hey, there's a tsunami coming or whatever. Canada so weak, Ohio Conquer built to their state alone. When we were the same people on the same sides of imaginary lines had different ideas. That's the way it used to be. Americans left a bunch of cloud loyalists up for us in North America. French had to deal with them ever since they moved to America. Bad move. Ohio is a greater military. 1960s USSR would love to have all the surveillance America has there. Yeah, they'd probably still be around if they did. Wouldn't bring it up, be a wiener. Canada and UK being a weak, serious issue. China is asshole. It's not Mickey, Mikey. Been in the state. What do you think? Ranking in GDP. Round up the newcomers. They can be frontline cannon fodder. Okay, let me see if I can find this real quick. Subordinating political control. Here it is. Check this out.
Well, a warm welcome to this talk. Now, today's video is
in China. Two park animals escaped a local house of cobras and snakes. Look at that.
Speech
what up, B2B?
In the United Kingdom, which is already greatly compromised, and we've already looked at compromised scientific free speech and publications and all these issues that are going on. And this is the latest one here, and YouTube is commenting on it as well. So this is a government report, Department for Culture, Media and Sport.
No. The people and the government are two different things, yeah.
And what I want to do is tell you what YouTube is saying about this and the concerns that it has. And my concern is that the state is going to mandate what videos are promoted on YouTube. That's basically what this seems to be about, or the most concerning thing this is about.
Did you say if you mention product, YouTube algorithm sends you stuff ad or something? So if I film something, if I'm filming a short and like say I'm putting something together and I've got a drill in my hand or whatever, and if the AI recognizes that, it makes it available to purchase. So you can click on the little tool on the screen and I'll get a commission off of that. And I don't even have to set that up. It's called auto tagging. Any product that the camera sees that's available for sale through YouTube's affiliates and whatnot, it'll automatically put it in there, up to like 3 in each video. Was he speaking Swahili? Chinese people in history, all right. Talk to a few of the Chinese. CCP is definitely evil. Cobra's bit a lot of people. What Nazis were to whites, but Asians, Japanese in World War II. Yeah, it always seems to work that way.
In other words, it wouldn't be
you know the man you hate, you look more like him every day, that type of thing. You know,
popularity.
The way you were oppressed, you end up oppressing.
That determines what videos become top of the YouTube feed, therefore most likely to be watched. And of course, the YouTube algorithm picks up on those and amplifies that. It's going to be the ones that the state mandates as appropriate for you, because you can't judge for yourself. The state has to do that for you if you live in the United Kingdom. At least that's the threat from this paper. Quite an outrageous situation. Let's look at it in a little more detail now and what YouTube is saying about it. Now, what they are saying is, some of it's here. State mandated prominence for the UK. What is promoted? What is promoted? So this might not sound like anything too significant, but on YouTube, what gets promoted is basically everything. Everyone who makes videos for YouTube is desperate to know what the YouTube algorithms are, so they can get their videos watched. Obviously, you don't want to make videos for no one to watch. But of course, YouTube don't tell you that. But here, the government will be mandating what comes first on YouTube and possibly other social media. This really is much more concerning than it looks at first glance. In my opinion.
Or you're stoned.
Let's look at it. That's the paper there. That's the government paper there. Are we subordinating information to political control? Is the question, and I fear that we are. So these are proposed UK rules could control your feed. This is from my YouTube information site.
I'll post it, brother. Hold on.
Keep YouTube yours, your channel, your say is the YouTube article. So YouTube is yours because you built it view by view, subscriber by subscriber, on the merit of your ideas and your connection with your audience. And this is what is so important to me. I don't always get it right, but I do my best to get it right. And if I get it wrong, I'll come back and tell you. And you know, I think we have a degree of trust, which is pretty wonderful.
Yeah, you're not really sinning.
People watch and they know that if what I'm saying and what my brilliant expert guests from around the world are saying,
you might be spinning,
is not right. It's
like
because we've got something wrong. But we're trying to get it right. We're really, really trying to get it right. We're not trying to deceive in any way, shape, or form, and that's good. That's what promotes trust. But basically, I don't trust mainstream media in the United Kingdom. It's as simple as
Communism
that.
is not love. Communism is a hammer which leaves across the enemy. I agree.
Some of which we'll look at.
I'm good with this.
However, proposed new rules could fundamentally change how your content is discovered, recommended and viewed in the UK. The UK government is running a public consultation, which we looked at, called Watch This Space, a new strategic direction for UK media. The proposal includes mandatory...
Then he might feel bad about breaking a hunk off that brick.
...changes to how your content is discovered.
I've been there, though. Back in the day.
...on YouTube. So this is indicating
especially in the music era. Did a speed run on Game earlier, got about 3 grams off of butter.
What you get to watch. It's not actually banning things, but it might as well be because, you know, if it's not anywhere on the YouTube algorithm, no one's going to see it. This could direct audiences away from your channel. And it would, of course. It would, of course. As a UK creator, and indeed viewer, of course, it impacts your future. I mean, everyone has the rights. I mean, I'm a creator as well as
so the UK government doesn't like that people outside of the UK are telling the truth about what's going on with the UK government. And if you're in the UK and you post it on the internet, a cop will be knocking on your door and dragging you off to jail if it's something that they don't like. But people outside of the US are posting for it. But now the UK wants to. Now the UK government wants to make sure that they can edit your feed, or at least if you ask something, rape gangs in the UK, then the first thing that'll pop up, trusted sources, will say the BBC, and then whatever propaganda they made on the rape gang inquiry, and that's absolutely crazy, especially because this guy, he's on a redemption tour because he originally agreed with the COVID jab, and then now he's adamantly anti, like all the bullshit, everything. He interviews lots of doctors around the world, talks about the vaccine injury, how they freaking lied with the statistics, how they screwed up the statistics, everything. And so, but if you were to ask, pros and cons about getting a COVID shot, the first thing that would pop up would be the BBC being like, it's the best thing for you, 98% effective and safe and clean and freaking makes your ding-a-ling feel like a obviously that's not good because they're obvious liars.
There's a lot of news I watch on
more
YouTube.
More nuanced, but in a nutshell. Muhammad said, thou shalt not replace benzocated. Moses would probably have agreed. None of this would be happening if we was a driven by user That's right. Choice, not legal requirements. Not sure how YouTube. Moses does fat rails, take a masonry
The idea that there would be legally mandated requirements
burning bush
to what we watch on YouTube.
This is why UK conquered Islam, because it's Christ. Maybe it's about Christianity.
We've got a vital window of opportunity.
The Greek word found in the original Bible, English Bible, is used in the sorcery or witchcraft. What's up, Stephen? UK should make Mr. Beach
include.
I'm surprised they don't. There's plenty of content. UK and all of the Europeans will be erased. What up, Bob? YouTube forces people to say unalive grape. I don't say it. No, and I'm a YouTube partner. Yeah, I can say rape, killed, murdered, slaughtered. Yeah. I think that, so back when the Democrats, so Trump sued YouTube. I don't know, and this is one thing I appreciate that he did. Trump sued YouTube, and they changed all that, because the Biden administration talked to YouTube, Google, talked to Facebook, Meta, and what's the other one? And X, so it was Twitter at the time, to make sure that stuff like that couldn't go up. And they didn't want you saying all these words because that's what people were worried about, is people being killed, people being raped, people being, and so anything like that was pushed down. So, but now it's not. I mean, maybe that's why I'm shadow banned, but I don't freaking, it's not against against the rules. A lot of people don't have issues with the Bible. They're teaching themselves, both clerics, believers, to proselytize or adamantly or such arrogance. Yeah, I agree. That's absolutely what happens. And a lot of times they're not even correct. You have people that proselytize and they're wrong, about what they're saying. How about you tell one constantly attacking a religion to chill instead of defending it? I think you have problems with people that don't like the things he likes. It's a pretty touchy subject, though. He's critical about jabs. Yeah, he's critical and jabs, but isn't obscene or insulting. You sound like a Muslim Bucky. This is why Europe's weak. A bunch of weak crybabies are. They got they demonetized the president of the United States, kicked him off, blocked him and banned him. That's crazy shit. Do you recall how to survive a hurricane without the ability to survive? No. Lay low, get under a freaking overpass.
Mandatory prominence regime. What is prominently promoted would be dictated.
A prominence regime. That's what they're calling it.
Political control. And if this doesn't send a bit of a shudder down your spine,
I think anyone engaged with organized religions to compete
later on, I think it certainly should. You don't want centralized totalitarian control through this paper or any other for that matter. This could require digital platforms like YouTube. This is from YouTube. to prioritise and give a privileged position.
Unbelievable.
Privileged position to traditional broadcasters like the BBC. Tell me if you trust the BBC. ITV, let me know in a comment if you trust the ITV. And Channel 4. I suspect many of you watching don't trust Channel 4 to be objective. But let me know. I don't want to prejudge your views. I'm not telling you what to think. Of course not.
They all got
its user interfaces and recommended feeds, potentially pushing out your content out of sight. Mandating prominence. Legally mandating prominence, what gets promoted.
That's so freaking
to
crazy.
Traditional institutions. So that's
so
the
is
legacy
Mao.
media, basically.
Guess
the
what came in the mail
media.
today? I don't believe you.
Will impact all other independent digital creators, producing companies and media companies. So this is going to affect everyone. Your content can be downranked. Pushing this group forward means pushing everyone else downwards. Mandatory prioritising of national broadcasters would affect how your content reaches your audience, regardless of what your audience actually wants to see. I mean, this is just totally unacceptable.
Yeah, so that's that. That's crazy, huh? That's crazy. It's absolute insanity. So now they went so far. The governments of the world have went so far in absolute diluting their native peoples that everything's going bad and everybody's rising up. But the problem is there's the internet. So what do? Well, now we got to control the internet, right? Remember free broadcast TV? We still have some here. Yeah, it's digital now, though. So you have to have a receiver. I actually have one. It sticks on my window, and I have one that's a little cylinder. So you can still get broadcast TV, but now it's digital. So they don't have very wide bands. They have very narrow bands because digitally you don't have to use such a wide band. So it frees up more of those bands for like cell phones and yada yada yada. But yeah, you can still get free TV. Not a whole bunch of stuff. It's like the news and stuff. I don't believe you. What's an atheist? Do they believe in one God or many gods? They don't. They believe what they're told about everything except anything that might make their life better. The problem is with the atheists now is once atheism. People that they're anti-theistic. They don't believe in any sort of creation. They believe in anything they're told from the education system, except for anything that has to do with possibility of a creator God. So they're very easy to sell to. They'll believe anything you tell them as long as you say it's from the science. And it's gotten us into this position where now we have jabs and stuff like that don't do shit for us but hurt us. And because trust the science, things like that this is what happens when people get out of the way. They get to write their own morality. And that's ultimately what it is. It's a sales tactic. Are you anticipating your playgirl magazine show? Just believe one less goddamn remix. It's no big deal. There are like 3,000 gods around the world. Yeah, I don't watch the news either. Internet wins. I watched TV through it, aerial cable, and for years. So they're like agnostic. So agnostics don't know. Agnostics say, I haven't figured it out yet. It's possible. There's a lot of, so agnostics is like that. And that's what scientists should be. Because you cannot prove that there's not a God. You can't do it. So scientists should not be atheists. If scientists are atheists, then they're not scientists. Because science is repeatable. And they cannot disprove something. They can't disprove it. So they should say, I'm agnostic. I'm waiting for more evidence, right? Because obviously we're here, right? So agnostic is still questioning basically, and atheist is no. We come from stardust. People who criticize God idea have no critical thinking ability. I disagree. I started as an atheist and I grew my way into it. It's until what'll push you away is organized religion. That's what pushed me away. It wasn't until I finally got down to the chemistry part of it where I was like, okay, let's figure out how the cell got here. And then I convinced myself, well, this thing didn't make itself. Mr. Burger King workers are so dumb. I'm pissed, simple-minded. The good news tell you, Rich. What up, brother? I think you got much more serious issues than Christianity. Stop the gang rapes, right? Stop the gang rapes. Can't prove negatives, right? Pavlov's Christ. We don't know. We won't know till we look in the heavenly box. Now you can find it. Just look for it, brother. It's not as hard as you think. It's just it's either an overabundance of self-education will eventually get you to the creator question. And then you don't have to choose a religion, but you'll get to the point where you'll start realizing things for yourself, and you'll realize that the illogical thing is to believe people that can't prove it, that said that they did. And then you'll start understanding that, well, why do they keep saying this? Why did they say this when they could not possibly know? Why the deception? And then you'll realize it's for control of the government. What's been given to us by, and I said it earlier about what's ever been endowed to you by a creator. If they can convince the entire population to do away with a creator, then there's rights that you have that can now be taken away from you. Europeans too scared to talk Islam. I'm a Christian. I have now 90 subscribers. Congratulations, brother. Congratulations. I'm a follower of the teachings of Christ. I don't go to church. I'm self-taught. Environment, bro. So they attack one of the kind religion, so stunning and brave. Right? Yeah. And that's what it is. You had a bunch of bullshit pastors tell Christians that it's all love and hugs and kisses, and people that believe that they're Christians or Jews or believe that it's okay to be beat up on. Well, read the book. You'll see it's the opposite. So you'll start to understand. People say, if God, then why the but yeah, it starts to make sense. Hallelujah, brother. Hallelujah. Uh-oh. Ilhan Omar flees. Let's have a blessed night. God bless you, Wolf, brother. Okay. So hey guys, so he just posted this 2 hours ago. So while I've been on stream, I just saw the same video that I was watching earlier, where it was the Zoom call from the socialists, and they call each other. Well, I'll let you see it, but it's funny. Her air conditioning's broke. Like, she can't afford to fix her air conditioner, but she wants to run the government. She wants to run the country as a communist socialist.
Welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And here's the meme of the day, brought to you by 5mind.com. Well, it appears there's somewhat of a trend forming right now. And that trend, of course, is being created by none other than Spencer Pratt. You know, I really knew I liked this guy. And I guess looking at the silver lining of it all, after that absolutely disgraceful, can we even call it, election that happened in Los Angeles, California, you know, that situation may suck, but at least it's now creating the perfect stage for Spencer 2.0, a reincarnation of sorts. This guy is on an absolute freaking tear. He's decided not to exit stage left, rather to double down and declare ideological war against socialism. And now, frankly, for the second time in the last 7 days or so, Spencer Pratt is once again behind pushing one of the most powerful videos on the internet. First, of course, with his succinct breakdown of what happened in California, and now with this Democrat Socialist of America expose. Now, this particular video wasn't created by him, but he's certainly the one responsible for making it go viral all over social media. Once again, this is the most powerful clip now bouncing online. Let me show you guys what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks. So here's a post from Spencer Pratt. He simply writes, "Socialism is sedition."
It's no secret that the Democratic Socialists of America hate the Democratic Party.
Never mind, I didn't see this. Islam tells people, beat the wife, go kill infidels.
The Democratic Party is not really our friend. It isn't.
So why are the DSA such major players in the Democratic Party? This odd relationship can be understood with the cuckoo analogy. In nature, the cuckoo survives by trickery. It lays its egg in another bird's nest. The unsuspecting parents raise the imposter as their own until the cuckoo grows strong enough to push the true chicks out. DSA candidates run as Democrats in safe blue districts, They slip through low turnout primaries. And once inside, they use the Democratic label as camouflage while advancing an extremist anti-American agenda far beyond the party's mainstream.
I don't agree with the Democratic Party, but it's a great tool.
The Democratic is a tool that we use.
Once in office, DSA candidates take orders from DSA's internal enforcers and working groups. City halls and state houses start running as socialist machines controlled by the organization, not the Democratic Party, and certainly not voters.
They have to have a connection with DSA's internal politics, and they have to be committed to the eventual goal of building a separate entity from the Democrats.
DSA are revolutionaries, and the Democrats are their first victims. And in city after city, DSA victories prove their plan works.
Bavarium.
I think that the model that we use to do
no, absolutely, you're right, absolutely.
100% replicatable.
And just like the cuckoo,
who do you think? So, who are the professionals at setting up parallel societies, coming in and acting like the friend of the libiquitas and of the oppressed to take over the libiquitas and push out the libiquitas and the oppressed? And it's the exact same playbook. So, who do you think is funding all of this? Democrats work all the time. It's hard to work with. It's hard work to be that illogical. Do you recall your truck, Monica or Bill? Why can't people start a new party? It seems like things always stuck between two parties. Because there wouldn't be enough money and time to set up enough marketing and advertising to get to you have to understand how big we are. 350 plus million people. So you'd have to be able to convince enough of them to vote for your party to make it worth spending all that money.
Once the DSA grows strong, it pushes the true Democrats out, hollowing the party from within.
We're not here to make the Democrats a little bit better. We're here to actually enact socialism. And socialism is not just better capitalism. It's overthrowing the entire capitalist state.
And really talk about backing up your statement. He posted that clip writing socialism is sedition. And sure, that could be perceived as hyperbolic. Oh, what do you mean? Well, after watching that clip, can you deny the claim? Yeah, very clearly, this is no longer normal American politics. This is a seditious conspiracy, a red thread operating from within the country and specifically from within the Democratic Party. And it's what I've been saying for the last couple of months. You've got this little crew in New York City, Mr. Zoran Mamdani and all of his little friends, especially that one character, Daria Liza Chevalier. And they, of course, have been putting up this little act. Now, all of a sudden...
All right, yeah, we say that. Okay, it looks like a lot of people would be interested in different choices, be two available, maybe long-term projects. It would have to be. It would cost hundreds of millions of dollars. And they would need office buildings and representatives. Because remember, it's not just the president. It's the president. It's 50 senators. It's 500 almost House of Representatives, people in the House of Representatives. So you would need a good chunk of them. So say you got the party of the Bumquist party, right? So then if you're in Georgia and you win as governor, right? Or you win, okay, just say you got in as senator. Then you have one Bumquist party senator, and then 40 Republican senators and 10 Democrats senators. And are you either going to vote with the Republicans or the Democrats? So the party would have to be big enough that enough people would be able to get elected. And remember, a lot of people are having a very good life in America. You only hear about people that are having shitty times in Democrat states, typically on the internet. You don't hear about all the people in red states that everything's just going fine. And so like, you're not going to be able to convince them to vote for you, and say, like, you have all these business owners that want to know the rules of the game. And so that's why it's just not, people have tried, absolutely have tried. It's just too ingrained. The amount of, it would have to be like a 10-year plan. And most companies don't work on those types of cycles. They work on much shorter cycles. So it wouldn't be worth all those investments to wait for a payout in 15 years. I'm agnostic about American party politics. Oh, I know. I'm talking about just the presidency. Oh, gotcha. And then Blomquist. I'm religious about political parties. It's a bracket, sis. That's what you need. One party hates America and openly refers to adversarial. That's right. And they allow themselves to be infected by some, like the socialists that just want to overthrow them. How? This is okay. So they didn't vet the guy, I can't remember the guy that ran in Maine or tried to run in Maine, the guy that won the primary in Maine that had a Nazi tattoo and was a woman beater and yada yada yada. So they didn't vet them. So did they not vet Mondami and these other chicks to know that they just wanted to overthrow America? So and they had stuff all over the internet for like years, 10 years of tweets and stuff saying we want to overthrow the government, yada yada. And they still allowed them to get in and get to the point where they could get in the primary. 1, 2, that's what I say now. Okay, I'm looking for your link, brother. I went off the screen. There it is. Okay, let's see. Oops. Okay. The link doesn't work. Oh, we ain't watching a freaking. If you guys want to watch it, go ahead. We ain't watching a freaking 13-minute Islam wackadoo. If all the Christians get together and pray really hard together one time, it could help change the bad times the Democrats are having. I don't think you understand how Christianity works, brother. I don't think you understand at all. I appreciate the jokes, but yeah, it's not how it works. This one has pockets and diamonds in his pockets, right? Because there's also Christian Democrats, and there's also people that are Democrats and they don't even know what's going on in politics that are praying for Democrats. What's happening is happening because of whatever happened. So it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And also you have to understand what carrying your cross is like. You have to have you can't just pray for a nice and easy life. You're going to have challenges in life, like having a Democrat Party that mature you and make you a better person. I find it quite obtuse that the party that blames Democrats for hating America literally hates over half of all Americans. I find it quite obtuse that the party that blames Democrats. I disagree. I disagree. I don't think most conservatives hate Democrats. I think that most conservatives just think that a lot of people that are voting Democrat are just doing it out of spite, out of hate, just as long as it's blue, no matter who. And I don't think hate them, but on the other way around, like I have conversations with Democrats all the time, and because I was a Democrat until recently. And so now I'm like, win my vote back. Like what? Like why should I not vote for JD Vance or Rubio? And then everybody can only say Trump. Okay, right. I'm not going to vote for Trump. I didn't vote for Trump. Why should I not vote Republican in 2028? And people just say because you're freaking stupid, you big nose, blah blah blah. So I just don't. It's not. It's the Democrats are very. Especially the ones that don't actually know what they're talking about, which seems to be a lot of them, because I can't get anyone to tell me why it would be beneficial to me, my family, my children to vote Democrat in 2028, especially with like all the world issue problems and with this influx of the DSA and stuff. It just doesn't seem like they're going in a good direction. It seems like the Democrats have become a money grab. It's not how God works. Yeah. What's up there? I just talking about Christian. Yeah, I can tell. What does jizya mean? Jizya is the tax that Muslims require if Muslims take over your country or your town or whatever, and you're not a Muslim, you have 3 choices. You either die, you convert to Islam, or you pay a tax called a jizya. That's the tax that you have to pay because you're not a Muslim. Okay, let's see. Bless their hearts. Please stop threatening to block me for saying things I disagree with, Rich. I'm not going to ban you, brother. Environment Pro. I love this channel. I'm just prickly tonight for the chill of it. Say something bad about Islam right now. Fuck, what you doing, dude? Democrats have a money grab. Yeah, you're going to get people arrested. You know they can't say that shit in those countries. What's the color of the Bumquist party? Don't say brown. Yeah, you're just trying to get them arrested. Yeah, don't do that. That ain't cool. You know he's in a freaking wackadoo ass country. Doesn't have freedom of speech. Okay, this is what the liberal residents heckle and boo. Uh-oh. All right, what time? It's 11:43. Let's see. Stop trusting white people. I'm grand. Can you stop with the dominatrix routine? Yeah, I understand. I get what you're doing. I understand. All right, let's see. That's racist. That man claimed racism. Then the video came out. All right, we're going to watch that. Who the fuck? Okay, let's see. Uh-oh. Brandon pushes to get Vale's video. I adopted 2 prairie dogs, Rhodesian something. You got any fleas? Controversial flock cameras. How are memories stored in your brain? Just get the votes. China's master plan. All right, we'll watch this here.
The AI revolution is supposed.
Thank you, my friend. It's what my brother gave it to me. I can say I live. Nobody's been arrested for saying shit online. I can say what I want where I live. No one's been arrested for saying shit online. It's not okay. I practice DB Illuminati cartel. The UK was Christian. There would be no Islam problems. Memory stores and a nut. Are you one of those climate change nuts? I don't think you are. No, I'm not one of those climate change nuts. Now watch Islam take over. Oh no, they're raping me, mom. All right, that's it.
Supposed to be happening in the cloud. A battle fought with code and software. It's not. Right now, Microsoft and other tech.
It's freaking about AI.
The AI revolution is supposed to be happening in the cloud. A battle fought with code and software.
Stupid thing. Oh man, clicked on the wrong freaking video. Okay, scariest charts. Master plan. Dude, I tell you what, I find it obtuse that being obtuse is like being obtuse without being obtuse about being obtuse. It's just crazy. The necrophilia, crazy Muslim bastards. They're brother, listen. And Islam has got all groups need to police their own. The trans group has a bunch of trans representatives that go way overboard, and they don't ever get any flack from the LGBTQ group. Muslims have a bunch of wackadoo Muslims, and when they do wackadoo things, you don't ever have Muslim leaders come out and say, we do not, this is not us, please do not think. And that's a big problem. That's a big problem that like people think, oh, this must represent, this is what trans people are okay with everybody getting away with. This is what Muslims are okay with everybody getting away with. This is what Jews, yeah, it's just, yeah, and that's a big problem. PR is huge. Obtuse is a dyslexic person think being obtuse is just being really fat. Hippo attacks. Trans men are deep in their own shit. Okay, what did you say? Look up hippo attacks. Oh, dude. Hippo attacks. Jeez.
It's like you don't know which one to focus on.
This shows just how fast hippos can swim. Jackie Boshoff was on a boat when a grumpy hippo suddenly started charging through the water.
Grumpy hippo.
The angry animal caught up in the boat and used its massive jaws to bite down on the rear motor.
Holy crap.
Jackie said, I actually couldn't believe what was happening in front of me. You hear and read about this stuff, never thinking it could happen to you.
Holy crap. Sloths are highly intelligent creatures. The increase of trans shooters, the mainstream media won't mention it. Yeah, I agree, Stuart. Yes, right. And it's not talked down about. They'll say, they'll just blame it. Like when the, like who's running the LGBT community? How come they aren't saying, hey, this isn't because of us. This is what we stand for. That isn't. And you don't ever hear that. You don't. And then when terrorism happens or wackadoo things happen with rapes and stuff that are connected to Muslim gangs, you don't ever hear, we are Muslims. This is what we believe. This is not us. This does not represent us. We're happy to be in your communities. We love you all, blah, 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 blah. But this is not us. They don't say that. And they don't say that. And then when you do hear people that are say, well, that she was wearing something skimpy. She should, like that's the kind of crap you hear. And it's like, well, you're doing horrible things to the Epstein emails showed me, instructed the DNC to push trans kids. Yep. And then they ended up got themselves a bunch of money on that stuff. All right. We're going to go ahead and call it a night. Richard's tired. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Hit the like button if you haven't yet. Hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends how cool it is here. You can join the Sir Reginald Blomquist, the third party. You go ahead. 2,000 priests were formerly accused of raping Ireland in the 1930s and 1990. It's very sad. Yeah, that shit. So this is the shit that needs to be taken care of and documented. When that shit happens, I mean, at least it happened in America a couple times. And then you have the church come together and say, we will pay to help this guy be burned. And if the victims need assistance, that stuff's dealt with. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. When you have people that are obviously evil and then they get into these positions of power, they do it on purpose. And like, this is why the Democrat Party's look right now is so bad. The guy that was a few swing states away from being our vice president just released a pedophile, pardoned a pedophile and say, I didn't think it was better. It was better that we didn't deport him back to a country he hasn't been to in 10 years. Like, he thought it was better to not deport a pedophile. It's so insanity. So Einstein emails prove David Icke is more correct than most civilians. Something. All right, crying fish, brother. Yeah, Catholicism. That's a good thing to fight over for us too. Catholicism and Christianity. Catholic Church of the Dark Arts. Yeah, we're going through. I agree. We're going through the great filling system in the sky. I said it was sad. It's definitely sad. I don't like Catholics either, but this is good. All right, I love you guys. I'll see you guys later.